yoddu sa xët te quality jas na ñoo yor seen cumbukaay tur day uyu borom jas na piir soo ko bëggee fii si biir Gambia bi dawal foofu sa quality jas na your number one stop shop ana sama jigéen ñi dama bëgg ngeen jox ma seen nopp garme yi ndaxte quality jas na amal nañ leen ay til yu toj daala poos abaaya yu yiiw waaye it amal nañ leen ay boreda yu rafet boreda yoo xam ne pour góor ñi la ak pour jigéen ñi amal nañ leen body scrub yi nga xam ne nii dafay defar seen yaram bam nice waaye it fàttewuñ fa diw yi ana sama jeeg yu pare yi quality jas na amal nañ leen fa andi cuuraay yu neex house spray ak bépp xeetu baax pour seen biir néeg dama ne atum ren jii ku sa jëkkër mere ku ne yow la neex ndaxte quality jas na ñëw na si dëkk bi pour defar sëy yi makeup artist yi bàyyi leen gannaaw ñu ngi leen fa amal ay makeup product yu quality waxu leen léegi nii foofa sa Westfield jàkkaarloog monument bi wala nga jokkoo quality jas na si 250 0124 ak quality jas na taaral sa bopp taaral sa néeg waaye it bégal sa alaaji aas
Prayers.
Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliament for the welfare of society and just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. Amen.
Correction and approval of records of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Wednesday, 1st November 2023.
Honorable members, the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Wednesday, 1st November 2023 is before us for correction and approval. Can any honorable member please move that the said record of votes and proceedings be considered and approved? Honorable member for Opanyomi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I rise to move the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sittings of Wednesday, 1st of November 2023, be considered for correction and approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any seconder? Honorable member for Nyani.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Wednesday, 1st November 2023 be considered and approved. Honorable members, I think you all have copies of the record of votes and proceedings. As usual, we look through them and you followed by your comments, page by page, beginning with page 1. Pardon? You don't have copies? You don't have copies? How many of you don't have copies? All of you there? Ah. How can you proceed without your colleagues? Bring your copy and we give it to them.
Honorable Speaker, number 30 on the list, Omar Dabo, Opanyomi, and Majority Chief Whip. At the same time, Suleiman Saha also. 30 and 34.
30 and 34.
Yes, on page 2. Majority Chief Whip and Minority Chief Whip, respectively, for consistency.
Okay, for their portfolios to be added. Honorable Omar Dabo Opanyomi, Chief Whip, huh? And Honorable Suleiman Saho, Central Badibu, Minority Chief Whip, huh? The whips. Suleiman, you are Minority Chief Whip. Eh? You know what it means? Okay. It means you are to, it should begin with yourself. I am not part of the majority or the minority. I'm happy to note that. I know what to do. Honorable members, we can now move to page 3. Honorable members, we can now move to page 4. Who is saying page 3? Only now let's count. All right, now, honorable members, I'll put the question. Those who are in agreement for the bill to be looked and dealt with under the certificate of urgency, raise your tax. Abstentions. Those who abstained, raise your tax. You got it? Honorable members, the results of the votes. Those in favor, 30. Those against, 17. Abstentions, 0. So the ayes have it. Honorable members, Order 77.3, which reads, a bill to which a certificate of urgency attaches may be proceeded with throughout all its stages, and the Assembly shall not be counted out or adjourned, except upon a motion made by the Vice President or a minister in charge of the bill, until such bill has been read the third time. In this circumstance, the said bill shall be proceeded with throughout all the stages in the Assembly. In other words, I am not in a position to accept any dilatory motion or referrals as dictated by Order 77.3, that once a business is accepted under the certificate of urgency, it shall not be counted out or adjourned until the business is completed. Honorable members, I will now invite the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice to hand over a copy of the bill to the clerk for the first reading. Honorable Attorney General.
The former President's Bill 2023.
Honorable members, what is happening?
It's all right.
Yes, honorable members. I would have loved to see people react after the bill has been read a second time and debated. But to have a former president's bill, I think is a necessity. That one, you go anywhere in the world, you have it. What it entails should be our problem. Nonetheless, we will continue.
We will debate.
But I'm against the process. But I'm not against it. But I will vote no for certificate of audience.
I'd like you. Madam.
Speaker, can we proceed? Can we proceed?
Who is shouting?
I'm not shouting. I said, if possible, can we proceed? Yes.
I think it shouldn't even be the process.
Hey, madam.
Honorable members, we have just witnessed that some members had to walk out. And by our own regulations, we have our own standing orders regulating us. And as Speaker, to certify myself, I want to know whether we can proceed, not in violation of the standing orders, to continue today's business. In this circumstance, I want to make reference to the relevant provisions of the standing orders, which are in two segments. One is, before we can commence sessions, we must have a quorum. And the quorum is half of the membership, which we have fulfilled. That's why we started. The second bit that I will read to you is Standing Order 12.2 states, if at any time the attention of the Speaker is directed to the fact that there is less than 1/4 of members present, including the Speaker, excluding the Speaker, he or she shall direct members to be summoned by the ringing of the division bell. If after the expiration of 2 minutes, the quota of the members are not present, he or she shall immediately, without question put, either A, suspend the sitting to a later time, not exceeding 1 hour, or B, adjourn the assembly until the next sitting. Nobody has called my attention to this, but I think as the presiding officer, this has happened. I want to certify that we have more than 1/4 of the membership to continue. And in this circumstance, I want to call on the table office, the office of the clerk, to confirm for me the number of members in the chamber. Honorable members, I am just being informed that we have enough to continue. We have 33 members in house. Whilst it would only be 15, if we have 15 and more, we will continue. We have 33. So we can continue. Honorable members, in accordance with Standing Order 65, the first reading of the former President's Bill 2023 is completed. Therefore, in accordance with Orders 66 and 77, we will now proceed to the second reading of the said bill. Clerk, we will proceed. Second reading, former President's Bill 2023 by Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice. Honorable members, first one for Standing Orders 67 and 77. I invite the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice to move a motion for the second reading of the bill entitled the former President's Bill 2023. Thereafter, it will be seconded, and the Assembly will debate on the general merit and principles of the bill as per Standing Order 67-1. After the debate, we will resolve into the Committee of the Whole Assembly to give detailed consideration to the bill. On that note, Honorable Members, I now invite the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice to move the motion for the second reading. Honorable Attorney General. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move the bill entitled the Former President's Bill 2023 be read the second time. Honorable Speaker, this bill seeks to repeal and replace. Honorable Speaker, this bill seeks to repeal and replace the Former President Office Allowances and Other Benefits Act, Act number 16 of 2006. Until now, the President, who is the Chief Executive of the state, upon ceasing to hold office, enters retirement without any formal pension from the state. This bill proposes an annual pension and office expenses for former presidents to maintain the dignity of the office of the President. The proposed pension scheme and retirement benefits also provides recognition and gratitude for a former president's service to the Gambia, which does not end with his term of office. It is believed that many Gambians will not want to see their former presidents living in the remainder of their lives in destitute. The bill further proposes a one-time 6 months lump sum gratuity payment to the outgoing president to assist his or her transition to post-presidential life. Although the formal role of a president ends when he or she leaves office, but he or she remains a public figure even after leaving office and continue to perform certain formal public roles. In addition, other public servants do qualify for a pension, including executive, legislature, and the judicial branch employees. Therefore, it is only fair that a former president also be provided pension and with additional office facility to enable him or her to perform duties that emerge as a result of his or her unofficial public status. Upon their demise, the bill entitles a former president to an official state funeral to accord him or her the nation's final due respect. To continue to preserve the dignity of the former president's first family, or the first family, the bill proposes a monthly allowance equal to 25%, a quarter, of the deceased former president's pension to be paid to the surviving spouse. Finally, by making life after presidency modestly comfortable, the benefits provided for in this bill will serve as incentive to sitting presidents to voluntarily vacate office, thereby entice them to avoid undue elongation of their stay in power, a common phenomenon which often leads to political instability in many parts of Africa. On those terms, I move.
Thank you very much. Any seconder? Honorable member for Lower Salu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion. Together, I want to make my submissions on this particular subject, that bill. Honorable Speaker, the intention of this bill is good because any public officers who is holding an office and you are a Gambian, you are entitled for gratuities and pensions. But how to do about it is the question now. Honorable Speaker, again, a parliamentary that is representing his or her people needs to be vigilant. Going for objections of a particular subject should not warrant you to go out without people not knowing you. What is your text on that particular subject? Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the minister to be concentrated on these issues, to take note on what members are trying to put across. Honorable Speaker, my first question that I'm going to ask, pensions and gratuities are always calculated at the end of the month. I want to be clear
by the AG. Why the areas in this particular bill? Because we all know there is a Pension Act. So if this came to be forced, means the other Pension Act, whether they are not going to be contrary to what we have passed in plenary. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the AG, if you have mentioned that the former president, we know is a repeal, already there is an existing bill for former president allowances. Now, if this particular bill has to be passed, the former president, already there is a current status that we know a former president, Jemmy, is a former. Whether he's going to be added, because it's repeal and savings, whether the former president will benefit from all these accommodations that we are trying to put across. Honorable Speaker, for now, the current salary of the president, and again, I want honorable members also to put in realities here. And let's not see we are in a current government. We are making progressive bill. This is not only for the current president. We are making for Gambian who will opportunity to occupy that position. Honorable Speaker, if you check the current act that doesn't separate all these provisions, but we know that there is an existing act currently. But then the status of the salaries of the president today, and I want the president, the AG, to tell us if you said the president, the former president, his salaries will be the same like the current president. Are you telling us the gross salary or the basic salaries? Because it's not indicated. Because today, the basic salary is 250,000 for the president. These are taxpayers' money. You allow me to speak. If people know that how much he is paid, it's not a problem. And again, their responsibilities allowances is 100,000. Special allowances. Now, if you are occupying a position that you are paid salaries, now you come to be an informer. Why are you paid salaries? I think there is gratuities and pensions will be given to the former president. But why salaries? And again, if you are in a position, we knew the former president is tax-free. No, the president, when you are occupied, sorry, you are tax-free. You are not charged for any tax when you are holding that position. But now, you've been a former now. Are you not going to be, those monies that are paid, they are going to be tax-free again? Because already you are not occupied in that position. And each grant duties and pensions is calculated based on a percentage. I want to know why this one is not calculated in base of percentage. That I want to ask the minister. Honorable Minister, you go for the accommodations of the president, the former president. I want to know whether our economic can sustain this. Because I asked before. Now you've been a former president. already you have the current status now. We already have the former. And again, there will be a former. When it's going to be, I don't know. In a situation where you serve only one term, then are you going to be calculated? And in a situation whereby nature came, that you died, or you are impeached by the parliament, and now you are formed, are you going to be catered in this particular bill? Honorable members, allow me to come. Honorable Speaker, the challenges on our economy that I am trying to put across, whether all these accommodations that we are putting across, whether the economy can carry these accommodations for the former president and his spouse. You can look forward. I think only public officers are paid for allowances. Now, when the former president's spouse is paid for allowances, in our culture, you can be married to 3 to 4 wives, spouses. Now this percentage that is calculated, whether is each of them is 25% of that monies that will be paid, that we want to know. And again, Honorable Minister, after being a former president, you are opportunity to marry another wife, where that wife will be calculated in this, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, we want to know the resident of former president will be maintenance by the government. If anywhere you have a residence for your own, then they will maintenance or they will maintain that house again. I have no problem. But then the staff in there, it will be a burden on our economy. 1 month, every year, 1 month annual leave. Here, the government can facilitate the former president of his holidays. That's no problem. Now, the annual leave, where anywhere he wants to go, then the old expenses will be in a burden to the government. I want to know, Honorable Speaker, can't we change this thing and to suit our economy? Because the accommodation is huge. In other countries, if you go to the United States, Indonesia, UK, this bill is there, but in the accommodations is only limited on the pension and gratuities. But in the entire accommodations that is put to the to this bill, I don't think our economy can sustain this. Because if you go to the United States, the president is received pensions and gratuities and office spaces. Then India, the president received pensions, office spaces, and travel allowances. What I'm saying here is, in most cases, the households should be dependent on the former presidents. But after serving for years, and you are retired or you are out of office, then we came again to make all these accommodations for you freely. I don't think, Honorable, our economy can sustain this. And Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the Minister, where the former president serves, allow me to come, Honorable Speaker, I think it should not be a thing that we need to, I want the Minister to make a clarity on these issues, because I want to know where and how this thing will go. Because any laws that we are making here, we need to be progressive laws. But in the burden of the economy is where I'm trying to, we have these laws in different countries. And it's a good move. But there are pinpoints whereby I was able to ask the minister to convince me about this. And from there we go on. Honorable Speaker. So if members are there to signal me time, I don't think I will listen to you people. Honorable Speaker, the households, I think it should be given by the former president. Because if you look at 4 households, you understand. And again, the government will pay that one. Both the internet and internet services, the entire residents. I think we need to revisit that one. The way those countries are doing it, we do it like that. Because I think the economy is more power than our economy. If the United States is doing the same thing, but not all what is put into the bill, I think we can get rid of those ones. Then we go as we think it will be sustainability of our economic in this area, because government people now have learned many. And again, whether now to my end of the submissions, I will ask, is it going to be repeal and savings? The former president will be added in this bill or not? For that, I will rest my case. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded. And in accordance with Standing Order 67-1, I will now open the floor for debate on the general merits and principles of the bill. General merits and the principles of the bill.
Motion, Speaker.
Any honorable member who wishes to partake in the debate may now do so by this motion.
Speaker, I'm rising on a motion, on a point of order.
Who is rising on the motion?
Jara Central.
Jara Central, yes.
Yeah, order 53. Okay. Let me allow the Deputy Major Leader to make his observation first.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I think.
It's not for you to. Anyway.
Yes, Honorable Speaker. He seconded the motion. I think you have to put the question first before he comes in to put the motion. If not.
Okay. What question is that?
Speaker.
Yeah, Honorable. Yeah, the debate has already started when this thing starts. It's seconded. After the debate, I put the question. Yes, Honorable Member for Yara. Yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'm rising on order 53A, motion which may be made without notice. Honorable Speaker, if you might allow me, I want to limit the debate on the former President's Bill 2023, to limit it to 5 minutes.
I therefore hereby move a motion that we limit the debate on the former president's bill to 5 minutes. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, order, point of order. Yes, of course. Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Who is talking about a point of order?
Here.
Nyanija?
Yes, I want to refer you with your guidance to Standing Order Clause 61, Subclause 3, and which I read, a motion for the limitation of debate under this standing order may not be made may be made without notice, but provided that such motion shall not be made in the course of the debate. And the honorable member already seconded and he contributed. So definitely the motion is not admitted.
Fact, that was what I was even discussing with the table office. Our understanding was the seconder of the motion was to make a proposal for the limitation to the debate. But when he participated in the debate until to his choice, it becomes now very difficult for you to limit others. Do you follow? And in fact, our own standing orders don't allow that. What we can do is we will not allow people to be repeating and repeating and repeating. You can say whatever you want to say. And it has to be focused on the merits and principles of the bill, and then very little repetition. We now proceed. I now invite the Honorable Member for Nyanija.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And I wouldn't take long, honestly. Honorable Speaker, first of all, before I make my submission, I want to make the record straight that we've witnessed here something that has never happened since my coming to this assembly in 2017. But this should show a strong signal to the entire Gambian population that you vote in people to office, regardless whether you agree on an agenda or not, you are here to work. You can't neglect your duty because you don't agree on something. We all disagree to agree because we are all politicians. We represent different political views and different political ideologies. Sometimes we'll be here and we'll be throwing words at one another, but the fact of the matter is we are all here to work. And then I think this is something that we should all take note of and make sure we respect whatever that we are doing here. You'll be sitting here, sometimes others will be saying something which you know that you yourself, you are not in agreement to. And if it is in the street, you will scold that person. But this is parliament. And parliament, all of us cannot speak the same voice. And parliament, we cannot all agree on the same lines. We have to have different views. That's the essence of democracy. And that's why we all go in for elections with different political parties, or as independent and so on. So I think this is a signal that we should all take note of. Honorable Speaker, coming to the subject matter, it is true, others will say this is not urgent and government should have bring it on the normal process. But remember, we are in an extraordinary session and there is nothing that is stopping government to bring in businesses which they deem necessary to address immediately. There is no doubt about that. Any other issue that the government have that they think it is necessary and the parliament is ready to accept it, is better we move and proceed. Of course, there is an existing legislation, that is the former president allowances and office benefits. But if you look at that act, it's just sort of a skeletal legislation, I can say. It's just 1 or 2 pages. And in this, it's like you are tight. You have to serve 2 terms, and then the spouses of the former presidents are not taken care of. And remember, even as parliamentarians, once you serve as the salaries and pensions of the National Assembly determine, you are entitled to pensions. And even if you serve at the end of your term, you are entitled to gratuities. So I don't think there is anything that somebody should wonder, why are we looking at individuals? This is not about individuals. This is not about those people who serve in those offices. It's about the office of the president, the highest office as far as the constitution of the Republic of the Gambia is concerned. So definitely we need to give that utmost respect and utmost separation of powers. Parliament have powers to legislate. The president doesn't have, likewise the judiciary. So it is our responsibility to make sure that whatever that we are legislating, we legislate for the better interest of the country. And the president office is very important as far as this country is concerned. Because all of us, whatever happened here today, we will point to the president, the president, the president. Sometimes I even wonder how presidents behave. That's why I said, I don't want to be a president at one time, because the burden, every issue that comes in and out of this country, outside the country, everything is the president, the president. So now you said you don't want to cater for that individual when he or she leaves office. It's so pathetic. I can't understand sometimes how people reason certain things, because to me, I am seeing it as people are personalizing these things, and which is very unfortunate. I can be president, somebody else can be president, and all of us have the right to benefit. So I think it's something we that we should all be cognizant of fact, and then we do the necessary thing. It is true, if you look at the bill, there are some reservations. Even personally, I have some reservations, but let us give it due course. During the committee stage, we observe, add, delete. Like I said, we have the knives, we have the scissors, we have whatever. We will bisect, we will trisect, and even we will do whatever what we want to do with it, and to make sure we have what we want to reflect in this bill, not what the executive want or not what the minister want. We are the lawmakers. So if you look at the importance also, like I said initially, it is repealing the former president's allowances and gratuities and so on. And of course, the definition of president, as I said, two consecutive terms, and of course the policies we are not taken care of. Of course, there are other details which I will not go into, but I will wait until the committee stage so that we can look into it. We all brainstorm, and then one head is not better. Probably my idea is wrong. Maybe somebody's idea is good about it. And to be candid and to be fair enough to the Gambian population, and of course, to that person occupying that office. And let us remember, there is only one former president as far as we speak now. Two former presidents, the other one is late, the other one is still alive. As we speak now, Adama Barrow is not a former president. I'm sorry to have mentioned his name. He's the president of the Republic of the Gambia. So if there is any benefit, that's will come maybe later, but not now. So let us not be too much narrow and thinking that this is directly for him. I'm sorry to say, but this I have to say because it's from my heart, honestly speaking. So, Honorable Speaker, I just want to urge and then appeal to all my honorable members. Let us look at this with sharp lens, and then we see what we can do with the guidance of the minister, and of course, with the speaker, and then we do necessary. So, on that note, I thank you so much, and I want to register my full support for this.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Nyanija. I now invite the Honorable Member for Upper Salum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, my neighbor, for really supporting a worthy cause. Honorable Speaker, we are here since yesterday, and it's very clear that we are trying to kill multiple birds with one stone. That's exactly what we are trying to do. Certificate of urgency is normal in any parliamentary setting. In fact, in most parliamentary settings. And I don't think that the minister is going to come over here and bring only one bill dealing with the former president's thing only. I don't think so. But what is important is he has something additional business that to do with parliament. Then why not you bring everything together so that we can deal with it together? Because at the end of the day, it's going to come back to the desk in here for all of us. So you are killing multiple birds with one stone. That's exactly what it is. So if you ask what's the urgency, I mean, you know what we dealt with yesterday. And everybody knew that there was something that's very urgent on the table. But along the lines, there's something else we can do. We are all going to be paid for this session. So what the minister is trying to do, or the executive is, they're trying to make sure that we do work for what we are being paid for. That's all. Nobody is saying this is not urgent, this bill is actually is urgent or whatever it is. No, but they're trying to kill multiple birds with one stone. That's all they're trying to do. And it makes a lot of sense. So, Honorable Speaker, to go right into the issue here, I think this bill, it makes a lot of sense. And if you look at the general intent of legislation, one of the things is actually to close loopholes. And one of the things also is to remedy societal ills. We know we already have a bill. There is an existing bill of former presidents. So this is not something that is actually new, but it's just trying to remedy a situation, remedy a loophole that we currently have in our legislation, and that is normal. When you legislate for the test of time, but there will become a time when you know that something has to change, and that's exactly what the minister is doing here today. What we have since 2006 is not making sense anymore. That's why he's coming to update with the current realities of life. I don't see any problem with that. I am here to represent the people of Upper Salom, and I will never shy away from my responsibilities. Anything that comes to this parliament, I will look at. Will I like everything? No. There are many instances when I do not agree with the rest of the members, but I'm mature enough to walk across the aisle to talk to my colleagues to say what I can do to convince them so that they can agree with me. That's why I'm here. Now, if you look at the issue of what we have right now in front of us, Honorable Speaker, it's very clear that the definition that we currently have in our legislation of former president doesn't make sense. What it's saying is somebody who has served at least a minimum of 2 terms. So which means if you serve 1 term in the current legislation, we have a problem. Which means you are not qualified to be term under this legislation we currently have. You are not qualified to benefit from former presidents. That's very unfair. If a president dies in office, you are not actually considered a former president. That's very unfair. And that doesn't happen anywhere in the world. And these are the issues that this bill intends to remedy. Nothing extraordinary. The office of the president, actually, Honorable Speaker, is not a small-time office. That's the head of state of a country, a former head of state of a country. The dignity of that head of state, we must maintain, no matter what happens. So we must be really very fair, just to ensure that at least, at the end of the day, we can say thank you for the services to the nation. And to do that, Honorable Speaker, to maintain that dignity, I think there is the government, particularly owe it to the former president to ensure that they live a very dignified life after the presidency. Besides that, Honorable Speaker, we as a continent, we are struggling with self-perpetuation. We say that every day. But what can we do to ensure that presidents understand that there is life after the presidency? To do that, really, we need to come up with legislation that would ensure that they understand that there's life after that, meaning that once they leave office, they'll be very comfortable in their life, and then life goes on. And I think this bill is intended to do just that, among other things, when you look at the objects and reasons of the bill. Now, if you look at also in fact, in many areas, for example, we have institutions that actually are helping us along those lines, like the Moore Abraham Foundation, that are actually helping us along those lines. So, but we as a country, we also owe it to ourselves to ensure that we do something along those lines, to ensure that our presidents feel dignified when they leave office. Now, if you look at the spouses of former presidents, they play a critical role in society all over the world, not only Gambia. You go in West Africa, you go across the across the continent. So taking care of them also, I think, is quite important. When the former head of state passes away, I think it's an obligation as a country to ensure that we support that particular family. For how long, it's up to us to decide. When we have a former president as well, I think it's also equally important that we take care of their spouses as well. But in the current context we have, in the current legislation, you won't see anything like that. That's unfair, and that's some of the loopholes that this bill intends to remedy. Honorable Speaker, I would like to conclude just to say that we are here as legislators, and we are here to help solve the ills of society by legislation. And that way is through loopholes, through when we anticipate issues along the lines, we as legislators, we must be here to ensure that we take charge of those things. And on that note, I want to thank you, and I want to show my full support for this bill.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Upper Salum. I now invite the Honorable Member for Banjul North. It's Banjul North I have. Huh? All right, I now invite the Honorable Member for Banjul South, because I understand it should be South, not North.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I said yesterday, I am not against the bill. I truly welcome the former president's bill. Not only does it encourage a president to step down, but it also gives the president the dignity that the president deserves after office. My only concern, like I mentioned yesterday, was the procedure. I was elected in Parliament to come and do my work and represent the people to the best of my ability. And if that power is taken by the executive, I will complain. I am a member of the Constitutional Matters Committee, and this is a very important bill that deserved to be taken to a committee for it to be scrutinized at its best. And that was denied, and that was the reason. And if it comes again to vote for the certificate of urgency, I will again vote no 10 times if need be. But that doesn't mean that I will go against this bill. Mr. Speaker, this is very personal. It's very close to my heart because my grandfather was a president, and I wish he had lived to benefit from this. It is a very great initiative of this government to bring this. And I think we should do it justice. If not, add more benefits. I don't think I will reduce anything. We need to add certain words though. Life needs to be as comfortable as possible for a former president. Their task is not easy. I am not in support or with the same party with the current president, but he is still my president. And after he becomes president, he needs to be given all befitting status of a president. And Mr. Speaker, it says they continue to perform certain informal roles. They might be informal, but they are very formal for them because at times they are invited. We have seen what other current former presidents are doing in the world. And I think if we see Nigeria, for example, former presidents are given the right to use the presidential jets at the expense of the state. If we had had those things, would we have denied those to our former presidents? I think, Mr. Speaker, we need to be fair to ourselves. My only concern was the procedure and the process that it is being done. But for this bill, I will give it my full support. And when it comes to the committee stage, I will give in my contribution for the additions that I will need to see. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Banjul South. I now invite the Honorable Member for Opanyumi. I now invite the Honorable Member for Nyani.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. As Gambians, as elected representatives, there is something that we owe to our people. There is no bill that will come to Parliament and pass in its original form. What is left to us as representatives for us to do our work, do the needful in order to pass that particular bill. If the action that happens today is something that we will continue to observe, and I don't think if there's any need for parliamentary procedures in this country. Honorable Speaker, looking at the bill that we have at hand, the former president's bill, looking at the financial security aspect of that, the bill seeks to address very important issues. Because if you look at as former presidents, you cannot solely and wholly depend on your savings. And there are a lot of things that this bill will control which we complain in societies. Historically, Honorable Speaker, looking at the historical perspective of it, We are fully aware that former presidents have vast knowledge or very good knowledge of the affairs of the country. With this bill, it will give us the opportunity to get the advice from former presidents in order to improve on our government and also the public as well. Looking at the national stability and continuity, government is all about continuity. And with this, it is going to ensure a smooth transition of government. If I know that there are entitlements that I am going to enjoy, there are certain benefits that I will enjoy after leaving office, why do I need to overstay in power? This can control temptation, it can control corruption, it can also control overstay of power. By putting this, is another way of encouraging and eradicating corruption. So I urge each and every one of us to give our support to this bill, and whatever criticisms that we have, whatever adjustment that we have, when it comes to committee stage, we can insert, delete, or do the needful. So, Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I beg to take my seat.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Nyani. I now invite the Honorable Member for Foni Kansala.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I thank the Justice Minister and members who have willingly stayed without any pressure at the background. Well, Honorable Speaker, we are representative of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is Councillor that said, go and represent us. And I'm willing to represent them. It is the same upon me as a representative of people of Councillor to attend a day session. Today, the second day, I choose to boycott a bill. It's the same. And I'm not, and I will not, and I won't be part and parcel of those shoes. Honorable Speaker, you see, this country, communities, constituencies, rural and urban, are demarcations that will set us where we belong. But we are a family. We are a brotherhood. We are a sisterhood. And this bill is a bill that is trying to talk about our former, present, future, and past presidents that will be in this particular country. Honorable Speaker, the bill before us, it says the former presidents in plural. But I want the Justice Minister to take his pen. We will go through this bill and critique it to see that it doesn't favor a particular individual, but it favors, since 1965, we have presidents till date. And we believe, in all fairness, if we are to say that we are representative of the people, why would I dodge? If you believe you are an armed soldier, you are fixed and weaponry okay, you attend first battle, the second battle you dodge away. I think you are not fit for purpose, and you should not even represent this house. For us, I can tell my people of Foni Cancer, if I do such, today I will resign as a representative of people of Foni, because I have failed them woefully. The media can take over. You know, what I believe is, what would I be judged? And I can put this to you, Honorable Speaker. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Kullukum ra'i wa kullukum mas'ulu an ra'iyatihi." Everybody is a cattle, and Allah will ask you how you rear your cattle. We are here to fight for our constituencies and the people of the Gambia, and this bill is not an exception. Because we believe that in making sure there are bills that were passed yesterday, I have objects, or else I voted no, but I didn't dodge. I didn't pack my baggages to leave. My seat is not empty, and my seat will never be empty. So far, I represent my people of Fonyi Kansala. Either I'm sick or I take excuses. But willingly, of a rejection, I accept and reject. So it means in this parliament, members, honorable members, we are doing selective justice in this parliament. We are doing partisancy in this parliament, and we are called the National Assembly member of the Republic of the Gambia. I'm sorry for a country called the Gambia and its representation, but I'm also wholeheartedly thanking members who are present for us to look onto this particular bill. Honorable Speaker, we have the former president bill or an act, and this is the current one. I want to be clear. Page 618, repeal. Justice Minister, help us in this, guide us. The bill has been repealed. We want to know whether it has been safe. Yes, again? I said page 6. The repeal aspects. I want to be clear in areas in which I want to clarity, because what I'm trying to connect is this. As per the bill, repealing and saving is a process of lawmaking. So in so doing, I want to be ascertained whether the saving has been done, and if it's so, the targeted precedents from where I need to be guided. Secondly,
sorry, I think we don't understand your question.
What I'm
your question, you are talking about 18, clause 18.
Yes.
Repeal.
Yes.
What do you want to know about that?
The former bill is repealed.
The former president's bill, the former president's office allowances and other benefits act is repealed.
Yes.
Yes.
So I mean currently, the former one is repealed. We are now debating or in the process of this new one. If this is passed, yes, I say if this would be passed, would it accommodate the former presidents? All the former presidents, I want to be guided, Honorable Minister. And the other one also, the prospective aspect of it and the retrospective aspect of it, I want you also to clear us in this. And the other area about the spouse. The first president is late, and he has spouse. This particular bill, if it is passed, are they included? I want to be guided also. Honorable Speaker, I believe in all honesty, as per the objects and reasons of this particular bill, entitlement, state funerals, other functions, you name it. Goodluck Jonathan is a seasonal trainer in legislation so far this parliament is concerned. He was a former president. He was here. Obasanjo the same. They send them into various functions. So if we are now not ready to guide or bring something for our presidents, history will judge us. And I want to be crystal clear. I have objections to this particular bill. If my minds are clear, I will then now support to see this bill's progression. And in doing so, we all know you serve presidency. You are left alone. Go. You can even be attacked on the street. So security is paramount. And the other thing that I also want to put to the Justice Minister, the former president, since inception of this country, he was benefiting in this bill, in this PASS Act. Securities were available. He was being paid. He had maids, errands that are running, medical aspects. President Jaura had benefited it. You're very clear. And we want also to know that this act is still the act that we are to work. This one is a new one, if it is effected. Can you tell us anything about Jammeh? If so, has he benefited in it? If not, why? We want to know. Honorable Speaker, laws are not made for individuals, but laws are meant for offices. In so doing, we are not approving for a president, but we are approving for presidents serving office. We are approving for offices. It has to be very clear for everybody. Today, if you reject this bill, tomorrow you can be a president. Today, if you accept this bill, tomorrow you may not be a president. Or today, if you caricature this bill, tomorrow your son or your daughter could be a president. But what I want to put across the members, let's set laws that will reflect the life and aspiration of our people who are serving official positions. Very clear, as representatives, sometimes become the same. You serve your office space, sometimes you will be working, you will even be ashamed. So we want our presidents to be roaming around, seeking for donations, doing public notices, even healthcare, seek support from people, securities, they have their own people who will secure them, maid, they have their own people, after serving tirelessly for your country. And now today you said, you are out of this. You are not in agreement. If I disagree, I will stay put and critique it. But if you leave, it means you are saying that you are a weak soldier and you are already finished. Honorable Speaker, finally, we also want you to tell us the economic aspects of it. Though you are a lawyer, but we want to know sustainability. We don't want to see pass a bill. Because what I do tell people, I will not be part and parcel of passing a bill. Tomorrow they said the ex-president's allowances is delayed. The ex-president's maid is now suing him or her of not being paid. Or the ex-president is facing this type of difficulty when the current president is still enjoying what he's supposed to enjoy. So we want this for you to tell us clear terms if it will be fit for purpose and if it will work as it is expected and if it will be sustainable. Because we don't want to involve in an issue where tomorrow we'll see hurdles. As officials are paid salaries or allowances without no hindrance, we want the same occurrences to these people. They have served their lifetime. Sleepless night. We all know as politicians, issues that we have with our wives, more so a president. Honorable Minister, I also believe in cultural aspects. In this bill, it says spouse. I know spouse when I say it is plural. More than one. Is there any limitation for polygamy where you may have 4 occurrences and the 25% will be divided into those 4? And how would that division work so far as 25% is concerned? Because we are Muslims and Christians, we are not bound to marry and we can marry as much as we can. I want you to be very clear in this also. On that note, I indulge my fellow members that we are not ashamed and we will not be ashamed, and nobody can capture us of defending a bill that we want is prosperity of former presidents. It has been pluralized. Any day that I hear that from Jawara's family to Jammeh's family are not part and parcel in this bill. I am not part and parcel. I would not be an individual who will only be defending one cohort, and I think I should not do that. We should not be fooled then. We are not lawyers, but we have our thinking capacity to think. It has to be since 1965. Who was the president? If he's late according to the spouse, they should benefit. And we'll monitor that. If not, we will reveal all secrets and said it is only been made proportionately for an individual. And one member has also said it very clear. It will also reduce that burden of fearful. If I leave, I will not get this. I will not get X, Y, Z. So on that note, I ably thank fellow honorable members to look at this document very well. As we move along, we'll be able to add Jimbo, Aja, Safal, and Dolly in it, inshallah, to see its progression. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Kansala. I now invite the Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang.
No, come here. Binta Kramani.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. I am happy with the coming of the bill. But then, as I always said, it's not our president who should be answering to ICC all the time. As a nation, thinking is important and thinking is key and central in terms of development. It is only African president that answer to ICC. But with the coming of this bill, be rest assured that our presidents will be very, very comfortable. Because we don't want our president to overstay in power. But what will become of them after they relinquish power? The fear is that I'm going to be taken to prison. Everything that belongs to me will be taken away from me. That is very, very sad for a nation. I quote from J.J. Rollins. He said when he relinquished power, he was sick. In fact, the money for the treatment, for the payment of the wife, he could not even have. That is sad for Africa. And if you ask me the reason as to why leaders refuse to relinquish power, I will tell you clearly that because they are not secured, they'll be taken to ICC. So that is the problem with Africa. I think this one, it is good, but then the urgency of the bill is what is questionable. When does this bill become urgent? That is a question that we need to answer as members. There was a bill before this, that this bill is repealing. What have you done about that? So your current president is so worried for the fact that he will soon leave office, that he needs to create a bill for himself. That is too sad to say.
Honorable
Member.
Member.
What have you done?
Honorable Member.
Yes.
You don't make those personal statements. Attack without basis. Is it the president who has tabled the bill?
Certificate of
Are the former
president
presidents here to table the bill who will benefit?
Certificate of urgency from the office of the president I'm talking about.
Yes, that is based on request and requirement.
Yes, he has confirmed the urgency of the
Honorable bill. Member, please don't make those personal statements, please. Deal with the content and the merit and the principles of the bill. That's what the standing order says. You are to look at the merits and the principles of the bill. Please, confine yourself to those.
Honorable Speaker, I will continue to debate. And then what I am going to say here remains loud and clear. That it is talking about creating an office after 6 months of leaving office, referring to the current president. That is what we are exactly talking about. And this,
Honorable, this is your last chance. Stop making those unfounded statements that you cannot state. confine yourself to the spirit and the principles of the merits and principles of the bill. That's what the standing order is asking you to do.
Honorable Speaker, then I will beg to take my seat. Thank you. If you don't want us to debate.
Honorable members, I now call upon the Honorable Member for Sandu. Is out?
Yes.
Fonyi Jarol. Honorable Member for Fonyi Jarol. Is he around?
Welcome here. Come here.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Being a representative of the people, I must start with what representation is all about. It is all about being tolerant. It is not what I want to hear, it's what I should hear, not what I don't want to hear, I should not hear, because I'm representing people of different opinions and different views. So therefore, I should be tolerant, whatever is going to be said. What matters here is the decision that I'm going to take, because it must be a decision that is informed by making the choice of that decision. We must respect diversity. And then when you look at the bill, which is the former president's bill, being tolerant, to be here, to listen to why it is here, does not mean I'm in support of it. I have to ask, there are certain things that concerns me, because this is about the country, like others have already stated. Tomorrow it could be me being the president. And then sometimes it is sad. I'm not a disrespectful person who disrespect people. But when you look at Gambia, we have a big problem, attitude problem. We will talk about being intellectuals, but the confusion in this country is guided by those people calling themselves intellectuals. And then sometimes the decisions that we make are based on the influences of people outside who are telling us what to do. Yes, we are representing people, but we have to make sure we listen to them. We learn from them because we are representing them. My concern about the bill is not about the individual president who you are. The former president, at the moment we have two. Maybe the third one is going to be another former president. We are talking about maybe eradicating why presidents overstay in office. We have made a big mistake in 2017. Sometimes when some of us talk here, they think that we are defending the ex-president. There we are lost. If I can go back to 2006, the act that the president should have benefited. The president left this country through an election, democratic election, not through a military coup. But immediately he left this country, his assets were shared. Are we going to do the same thing? The assets were completely shared. I will continue saying it because I'm a witness of some of these things. Because his assets were not gazetted. His livestock was just like, come and have your meal. I have the receipts. A government that was selling an asset of a former president. That we say that now we want president, because the president who's there at the moment would be now be thinking, if I leave, is this same thing going to happen? Sometimes when you ask me, I'll tell you yes. If you have allowed people to share the one who succeeded his assets, why not when you also leave? But what happened was the king was misguided by angry people for nothing. Guided by people who call themselves intellectuals. Guided by people who are just hiding under institutions just to raise up their or to fight their interests. This is what happened. Because if you look at the situation of the country now, why many people are going to cry about this bill, the economic status, mass exodus of our youngsters, not now only youngsters, on this backway journey. People are not even leaving their families, married people. People have been going with their wives. So now the people outside, what are they just thinking about? How can you give all this to an ex-president who was the most or the highest paid? The highest paid, why would you give him after making that highest paid? Who the country was taking care of? This is why people are just complaining when they are right. That's the concern of my people. But if we definitely want sustainable peace, it has to be built based on equality and justice. It should not be like an animal farm, where some are better than others. Not everybody likes the present president. I'm not a supporter. And I always say I'll never be a supporter because of based on his leadership style. Because the country where it is, I always tell people, based on reports, we look at it, no jobs. People are going back way. It's now a mass exodus. Like just as I said, every day now people are going, every day people are dying. Now people are thinking of now they want to give the ex-presidents just a luxury life after presidency. How is this possible with a country that has a broken economy? This is where the concerns of people are. So I need to sit down here to raise those issues. If I have left outside, no one is going to hear what I want to say. And then we need clarity about this one, because there was an Act 2006 that protected the president. You see that when we came in, there was no law? When we came in as a government, you see that there was no law? Oh, because of others now, it's a dictator. I am always saying this. If he is a dictator, he was my Democrat and a Democrat for many. Today, most of us are calling ourselves graduates. We attended university that this so-called dictator you are calling constructed and initiated. That most of us who today probably hate him, we are saying that that university is not going to function. That's why today we are looking for jobs. But we allow, if I ask for the properties of the ex-president, all is shared. It does not go to a proper sales. I have the receipts. I'm waiting for the right time. An exercise book was just used like the pen and paper to sell an asset of an ex-president. Putting just a stamp there. Allow the bearer of this and this to have this property without even putting the amount. The only thing that you see that satisfies is the High Court stamp. And then this is where we all rely on justice. But you said it's a dictator, he should be zero. You don't know that dictator has thousands of people behind him who are ready, because he brought us from nowhere to somewhere, that we will never abandon him. Not because we want to pray. And then the same thing, despite my disagreement for the current president, I will always make sure that I'm looking at the office that I'm going to give him full respect. Full respect, maximum respect. And anything that I'm going to take here, it's not about those individuals. I'm here not to serve an individual. I am here to serve the country. I must look at what would this mean to the country. No one is going to stay outside there to influence me. You can tell me your opinion, and then I compare your opinion and my opinion, and then I come here to express.
Honorable member, once again, let's confine ourselves as per the standing orders to the merits and principles of the bill. It's not an adjournment debate where people can talk on any issue or anything. We are confined by our own laws, and not only about the bill, but even not allowing us to look at the nitty-gritties of the bill, but the merits and the principles of the bill. Please, let's confine ourselves to those things.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for guiding me. I accept. And I'll still go back to why I'm quoting this as references is still about the bill, but you are guiding me, I'll just obey. And then what I'm trying to explain here, we are looking at the economical situation of implementing this bill. This is where many people are worried. That's why I'm trying to quote that. We want sustainable peace in the country. We want so that presidents don't overstay, so that when they leave, they are not worried. But this is why I went back 2017 to quote what happened, why the next president would be worried to leave office. This is why I'm trying to quote those examples. A lot need to be clarified here. It's not that staying here and then debating or just expressing my opinion does not mean I have agreed to the bill. But this needs to go back to the committee where our voices will be heard to make sure that the bill is drawn. I respect anyone who's a former president and that he should not suffer. He should not lack medical bills after just living as a president. He should not be begging to eat or begging for medical treatment. That's wrong, because he has served the highest office. That's a shame to the country if that would happen. Like tomorrow we see an ex-president of the country begging, looking for medical bills. Therefore, this bill, we agree, but what is there, the economic aspect of it is where the disagreement is. That we need to scrutinize and then look at it properly for consideration. And I rest my case.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Fonyi Jarol. I now invite the Honorable nominated member, Maimouna Sise.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to join my colleagues to thank the Honorable Minister for tabling a very considerable bill which will protect the integrity of the President's office. Honorable Speaker, this bill is so important, so dear to me, that every genuine Gambian need to put your blessing or add your blessing to this bill, to consider our leaders being a servant for their countries for quite a while, doing every necessary things to make sure that this country is safe, secured, with tranquility we all enjoying today. I believe giving a blessing to this bill is another predicament we are trying to avoid in future. I've been doing so many researches since this bill is about to come. I'll just center it towards a sub-region. I think Gambia is the only country whose former presidents are not enjoying some of the privileges. The former presidents need to be given the privilege. Why? Because they serve the highest position in the country. And they don't just get that one because they want it. We give them the mandate and the mantle for them to serve us. So by leaving that office honorably, they're supposed to have their benefits. They have to leave the office with the benefits whereby they will not have a doubt in their mind if their time is about to leave the office. They will be skeptical to leave. Some of these relinquished in the offices, they are not having a future and they are not seeing a future ahead of them. You have so many former presidents. When they leave office, they will be working on a consultancy basis and they will be helping their countrymen. And they can be a good advisor to the current president because they've been there. If those people are not comfortably living where they are, somebody who served, even an honorable member, just a parliamentarian. Let's take an example by ourselves. None of us here would like to leave this office. At the end of your term, you became another destitute in the streets because you don't have any future. If the law can confine us, we cannot engage in any other business while we are holding a public office. Because of what? Conflict of interest. It's the same thing applied to the president. While they are in the office, they are not entitled to any other business apart from the business of the country. If they are basing their focus, their mind, their integrity to serve this country better, I don't see no reason they should be depriving the private or the privilege they need to have. Gambia was fortunate to have only 2 presidents. We all know the first president doesn't have the privilege because the act, right, what we are trying to amend right now, He was unfortunately not here. But if the law is enacted right now, I think the beneficiaries of the families need to be considered. Because he served this country for almost 3 decades. And the second president also, we are not here to say that he doesn't have the right to have the privilege. Whatever privilege he deserves, when he doesn't have any conflicting with the law, he has every right to benefit whatever benefit is entitled to him. But guess what? And I want some of the members, I know still now he has so many supporters in this country, but we have to accept there was a mistake. I will never sit here and say that the former president never do anything good in this country. He did. We cannot deny him that right. But we have to understand also, there have been so many heinous crimes in this country, which he was tied to it. So the law has to take its course. Where the boundaries are, that's where we're going to curtail. The right of any of the beneficiaries of the former offices will be protected. We are not doing this for an individual. Not for the first president, former president, not for the second former president, not for the incoming former president. We are trying to sanitize the office of the former presidents. They are our leaders, and we need to protect them. We need to guide them unless and until God has decided when their time is up. If anybody thinking that the current president is the one who is about to benefit this one, yes, he might be lucky to benefit because he's the one who is serving right now. But you don't base a law or you don't make a law to satisfy an individual or a subsection of an individuals. What we witness here in these chambers today is very unfortunate. But I think Gambians should know the genuine National Assembly members of this country. They are trying to score a political score in this matter, but I think they will fail awfully. Because every opposition in this country, you are there to have a presidency in this country. If you cannot protect your future leaders coming or your future opposition leaders coming to be a president, if you cannot protect those integrities, then you are not serving your own justice to yourself. If anybody thinks that by rejecting this bill, you are scoring a political score, you are not helping your own self. You are not helping your future. This cannot be a bill of somebody or somebody you hate so much because he's going to benefit in that. Who knows? Another 5 to 10 years down the line, the president might come from this particular National Assembly we are talking here right now. Who knows? 2017, who sees the coming of this current president? Nobody foresee that. And we have been seeing so many people vying for that position for quite a long. But God doesn't give them the privilege for them to serve this position as yet. So let's try to focus, at least let's try to be genuine. By dealing of the country cannot be politicized in every aspect. Even the good things about the country's future, we have to politicize it. Let's try to curtail ourselves. Politics has to be a time. When it's time for election, go give your, sensitize your people, yearning for whatever you are looking for. If they trust you, they will give you the mandate for you to serve them. But as long as the election is over, Gambians will need to go back to the drawing board to see and to concentrate how the country is going to move forward. But not everything should be politicized. It's very pathetic. Seriously, it's very pathetic to see the National Assembly working out because they don't want to table a bill, which is the future of our presidents. And still now you are encouraging them now, whatever little thing you said, the government didn't do that, the president didn't do that. But that will make the president to voluntarily leave the power when it's time for you are denying them for not having that. What do we need? There's nothing here which is extraordinary, which Gambians should be crying about. Who is here in this National Assembly who doesn't want to have a package when you leave the office? Not the president, but every National Assembly, all of us here, we want to have a package. How can the president go home with only $50,000 without any other benefits? And when you are serving, you cannot be a friend. Not everybody can be a cup of tea. And you cannot be a cup of coffee for everybody in the country. You might be subjected to attack, your family, especially with our unlimited democracy we have in this country. Right now, we need to revisit ourselves and strengthen our laws to make sure that Not even only the presidency, but the leaders who serve in this country need to be protected. Because what we are seeing in this country right now is scary. If the civilians can have the audacity to go after the, the security personnel, it might be enough for us tomorrow. So by doing so, we need to protect. The protection should start from here. We have to protect this noble office, to give them the right.
May we hear the point of order?
I rise on point of order 29.1. Every member shall restrict his or her observation to the subject under discussion. Yes, so I want you to guide the honorable member to restrict herself under the subject of discussion.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Don't go.
All right, honorable nominated member, you can continue. Let's all continue to ensure that we are within the confines.
Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on order 17F. While a member is speaking, all members shall be silent and shall not make unseemly interruption. Honorable member.
Let me just conclude this. You can come up.
Okay.
So what I want to urge members is, please, let's confine ourselves to the various provisions of the standing order. States, even on the normal debate, you are to confine yourself to the issue being debated. In this particular debate, we are told that we can only look at the merits and the principles. What I heard from the honorable member, nominated member, was talking about boycotting these things, implications. He was talking about that it's not meant for one person. Anybody can be president. That's what I heard. I don't know why the honorable member wanted the nominated member to confine herself according to as per the standing orders. So, honorable member, you can continue. But before you continue, I think there was another standing on a point of order. Let me hear that also.
Honorable Speaker, I withdraw. Hence, you rule him out.
Okay, you move on. So, honorable member, you can continue.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for that ruling. Just in conclusion, he interjected me. But anyhow, I just want all of us to give our blessing to this bill to prepare our future former presidents and the former presidents for them to be confident and believe in themselves. Yes, there's a life after the presidency. We need to prepare them before they leave the office. If you don't prepare me before I leave the office, you can expect anything. And that's what we are trying to emphasize. I'm urging all my honorable members to add their blessing to that. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable nominated member, Maimuna Sise. I now invite the honorable member for Bunduga Kunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues to appreciate and thank the Minister of Justice for bringing this bill. I think this bill is positive because the reason why they bring this bill here, we need to know and identify what it wants to address. So basically, we are talking about the former presidents, and we know the office of the president is the highest office of the land. And we know the responsibilities given to them and the responsibilities they normally take during the course of their tenure. So having them to dignify their office as former head of state, I think that is in a good, right direction. It's all about how we are going to do it. This is why we are here. And this is why the people of the Gambia elected all of us for us to come and work together for the general interest of the country. Actually, we may not be in the same line sometimes, but that shouldn't make us to disconnect. Because today, I may need you, tomorrow you may need me. So, and this is a national issue, and I think all the former presidents, because we are not talking about an individual president, we are talking about former president's office of the Gambia. So we need to dignify it in such a way, because we all know presidents are politicians. And life after president, we all know what we go through. Social functions are there. International functions are there. People will still come to you to seek for support. So basically, at least to give them that, status of trying to live in a very good life, I think is a very good move. And basically, it will also prevent presidents to overstay and also to work, freely, because at the end of the day, expectation will be life after president, at least I will have a smooth transition, a smooth life till the end of my life. So equally to their spouse, I think we should be fair, because we don't own our life. A former president is not about him as an individual, but all former presidents, they have families. And those families also are captured in the bill. So for that being the case, I appreciate the effort being done to at least adjust the 2006, bill or act, so that at least it can capture, some of these things. So for that being the case, I just want to say that, the only issue that I may have, we may leave it till during committee of the whole house, wherein we can put our inputs to make life very easy. Because at the end of the day, as it is now, based on the object and reasons, former presidents, they are not benefiting any pension. Then I want to know. Civil servant, they are receiving, after your retirement, you receive pension and gratuity. I hope so. So if that is the case, somebody who serves as a president, we really need to dignify them, uplift their status, so that at least, they can be in a wave line wherein, at least they will be comfortable. So for that being the case, it's always important when we have issues like this, whether you are in support of it or not, but as far as the people of your constituency send you here, it's always important, because right now, my tag is Bundung that is written there. But who are the people in Bundung? It's a diverse community. Politically, it's a diverse political community. But today, I will not be there to satisfy my political party alone, but I am there to satisfy every single Gambian people, Bundungkas. And for that being the case, even though whatever I supported here or against here, know that I will not satisfy everybody. But what is important is the reason, the reason why they brought this bill here and whatever, and which I think is a good bill. So for that being the case, I want to, join my colleagues. We look at it. We shouldn't just see ourselves as we are the only one who are here, but let's do the needful to address some of the issues or concern in the bill during the committee of the whole house. On that note, I thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Bundunga Kunda. I now invite the Honorable Member for Olu Yundum.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there are two types of people, or let me say, two sides with regards to this bill. Those who disagree for this bill to be passed in the National Assembly, yes, they are right. It's their right to disagree. But there are other set of people who also agree that we need to have a former president's bill. And these are all Gambians. So your right to disagree does not mean somebody else should not agree to the same bill that we are passing in the National Assembly. Honorable Speaker, we need to put the record straight. And we need to agree as a nation that there is a need for us to have former president's bill. Am I right or wrong? We need to have that first. We need to establish that. Then we can discuss about the content of the bill. The content of the bill is what will make it a law. But we have to agree that there is a need as a country for us to have a bill or an act that is going to be there for the former presidents of this country. Honorable Speaker, Gambia is the last country that will have this bill. I know we have an act before. Like they said, it doesn't cater for anything. Go to the sub-region. Examine other countries that have former president's bill. They have it since 1990. You know, those are in the days when we are not even thinking about having former president's bill. So if you come here in 2023 to amend and have a bill that is going to take care of former presidents, I think we are on track. And I am supporting this bill wholeheartedly. In Namibia, Honorable Speaker, if you allow me, they have a former president's bill. And what they are offering their president is far more than what we are offering our president. And Namibia is part of the world, and of course in Africa. In Zambia, they also have a former president's bill. What they are offering their president is far more than what we have in our bill. They are offering that. The content of the bill that we have and what they have is similar because there are clauses that are standard practices for every former president that we need to accept. If we do not have those things in the bill, then no need for us to have the former president's bill. You cannot be a former president and you do not enjoy those things. If they're going to create an office for you, of course you need staff to work in the office. You live in your house, you need to have, those staffs within your house. And that should be a responsibility of the state. We need to accept that. These are former presidents, like Honorable Nominated Member said. Whilst you are in office, you don't engage yourself in any other thing except to concentrate on the job or the mandate given to you by the people. So once you are leaving, of course, you need to benefit from those things. So like I said, it's the content what matters here that we will be looking at and see what are we offering our president as well. So all of us should take note of that. The content of the bill is no different to any other content from any part of the world. It's the same. But let's look at the amount that they are giving. Are we giving that to our president? No. We are giving in dollars far less than what even Ghana is giving their former president, far less than what Angola is giving their president, far less than what all other African countries are giving their president. So I think we are on track. The issue should not be about politics. It should be about, it's important for us to have a bill as a country. And let's establish that first. And then legislate the content, the clauses that is going to support our former president. The current president is not yet a former president. Whoever thinks maybe the bill is going to support that, of course the bill will support him whenever he becomes a former president. But the bill currently is for the Gambia. The bill is for the Gambia, as far as I know, because it doesn't have anybody's name to say, okay, President Aramoro is going to be former president, so we have to cater for him. Or Yahya Jammeh is a former president. No, it did not say that. It says former president's bill. Anybody who becomes president, you will one day become a former president, and you will enjoy from this bill. That is what the bill is talking about, Honorable Speaker. Without going to the content of the clauses of the bill, like I said, it's standard practice. Go and do research anywhere and see the bill that we have before us and other countries. The vehicles, the staff, the office. It's standard everywhere. And how much are they giving you? Now that will be determined by, let's see how much you are receiving. Is it 80% of a sitting president's salary? In other countries, that's what they are doing. They're giving in percentage. 80% of the sitting president's salary. In other countries, that is how much in the Gambia? It's fair too. But we are saying no. We are giving as little as the amount that they are receiving as for pension. The gratuity for at least 6 months, a lump sum. We are all receiving pension, gratuity here as National Assembly members. So we need to agree that as a country, we need to move, we need to support our ex-president to become an ambassador for this country. We need to protect the integrity and the dignity of that office. If Goodluck Jonathan can become an ambassador for an international organization, being a consultant, going around the world as a former president, our president can do the same thing and sell the name of this country for us. That is what we expect our presidents to do. But they cannot do that. I mean, if we do not come to their aid as well as a country. So we just want to leave our president to become anyhow they want in office. We want them to be corrupt. We wanted them to be corrupt, to overstay in power, and don't respect the democratic principles of the land. No, this bill is telling you, I mean, serve your people. You are a servant of the people. But in as much as you are a servant, that doesn't mean that the people should not also reward you what you deserve when you finish your term. So this bill is progressive, is timely, and I think is achievable. We should be able to pass this bill and support our former presidents, as far as I am concerned. Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Old Yundum. I now invite the Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Kantora.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor and allow me to add my voice to the ongoing debates, that is, having agreed to consider the former president's bill on the certificate of urgency, to add my voice in observance of the standing orders to debate on the general merit and principle without deviating. Honorable Speaker, I want to assure this honorable House that history shall have us in its good books. Our main primary responsibility here in this hollow chambers is to legislate laws. The executive has done their quarters, having fulfilled their constitutional mandates. It is up to us to also fulfill our constitutional mandates by going through the bill, peruse through, take our lenses clause by clause, part by part, to add value, even make it better than it was. But it's rather unfortunate, yesterday, the UDP camp joined us in the debates, even though after rejecting the certificate of urgency, they still partake in the debates. They also partake in the committee of supply to add their input. But it will be a very unwise decision, very weak decision to boycott when you have the latitudes, when you are given all rights, when you are licensed to talk, to make your voice heard, to represent the voiceless, to speak for the voiceless. That is why you are sent here. No matter your differences with the bill, it is a duty bound on you as people's representative, like the way other members of parliament deem it fit to stay, show their position, proffer recommendation and solution when you get to the committee stage. Thumb up to them. This is how it should be. And I encourage for us to follow the spirit. Honorable Speaker, according to the prayers advanced in the former President's bill, it seeks to address the lacuna in the legislation. It seeks to address the gap in the legislation of the 2006 Act, former President Act. There is no perfect law. Laws varies. It changes under the circumstances and the time frame you are legislating. What suits you in 2006 might not suit the current realities. It's not one size suits all. And it's based on those premises. The executive has sat down to propose legislation to us, to add our input, to make sure that the law is progressive, it serves a purpose, and also it tries to remedy the contemporary realities of our governance structure or our governance system. It's also said it in the objects and reasons that it seeks to address to avoid the undue elongation, the overstay in power. Why we need to look at critically. In our sub-region, these constitutional amendments, this overstay in power, has caused havoc in a democratic dispensation, has caused political instability. These are some of the remedial solutions to avoid that. Because of the fear of destitution, because of fear of insecurity. That is why it's incumbent upon us as lawmakers to make legislation that will address the current happenings in our country and also make legislation that will consolidate our democratic gains. I mean, in no doubt that when this is passed, would add to the consolidation of our democratic dispensation. So I'm calling all and sundry. That is a very progressive bill. And it's a bill that seeks to address and consolidate our democratic dispensation. Gambia has now become a pilot project of democracy in the sub-region. I think it is incumbent upon us, anything that will add value, anything that will consolidate those gains should be of paramount importance. And that is why this bill is before us. When I went through the bill, of course, to tell you how important our roles are as members of parliament, because it's not a Bible or Quran, we can really propose amendments. We've seen that a certain section of problem solving is not solved because the bill doesn't cater that there will be an instance of a sitting president. If you happen to die in office, what do you cater for the person? What package do you have for his or her spouse? These are all defects. These are all deficiencies. These are all lacunas that we spotted in the bill, and we propose solutions in the Committee of Supply. So I want to thank the executive through the Attorney General and Minister for Justice for coming up with this progressive bill aiming at ending fear of destitution, aiming at ending insecurity after office, to restore the dignity and pride of our states. Remember, these are full citizens of any country. And it's incumbent upon us to make sure that they live a dignified life. They are role models. That is why I have my own reservation in terms of even closing their office after 6 months. Some of them are engaged in foundation issues to give back to society. Once they are valued, once they're taken care of, what they can bring back to society would even outnumber what you're giving them at the end. We've seen former president engage in foundation, bringing development, contributing their quotas in national development, contributing to socio-economic development of our states, becoming champions of peacemakers, being negotiators, being special envoys, maintaining the world peace. So it's not a small position we are looking at. We are looking at the first family, the first citizen of the state. Members of parliament, I want to also encourage you to look at the bill objectivity, to look at the bill with all honesty, to add value when we get to the committee stage. I thank you so much for indulgence. Honorable Speaker, these are my few words that I want to add, but I want to assure, once this bill is passed, it does not only address the issue of insecurity, does not only address the issue of destitution, does not even only address the issue of elongation of office. It contributes to democratic consolidation of our newfound democracy. So on that note, thank you so much for indulgence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Kantora and the Majority Leader. I now invite the Honorable Member for Jara Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity given to me. Honorable Speaker, the bill before us today is the former President's Bill 2023. And we've been told in the objects and reasons of the bill that, if you may allow me, Honorable Speaker, it seeks to repeal and replace the former President's Act of 2006, and that one of its merits, Honorable Speaker, is that this bill will serve as an incentive to sitting presidents to voluntarily vacate office, thereby entice them to avoid undue elongation of their stay in power, which often leads to political instability in many parts of Africa. Very wonderful merits, Honorable Speaker, it's been contained in this bill. I have only a few questions to ask to the Honorable Minister of Justice with regards to this bill, because we are all aware that there was an existing act of 2006. And we are aware that this present bill, if passed, is to repeal the former act. Therefore, I want to ask the Honorable Minister, why was the office of the former President's Act of 2006 not observed and enforced? That would warrant us to repeal the 2006 Act. The other question, Honorable Speaker, is that what type of president are we talking about? The type of president who is going to enjoy from this bill if passed. Because we can have a president who has been accused of different malpractices after being former. Are they going to be covered by this bill if passed? Honorable Speaker, in as much as we want to maintain the dignity of the former president's office, I would also want our my honorable colleagues for us not to be over ambitious if we go to the Committee of the Whole Assembly, for us to look at the clauses concerned therein, to do the needful as far as we are concerned, and the Gambian people also are concerned at large. Honorable Speaker, I will not take much of your time or the time of the Assembly. Therefore, I would like to beg and take my seat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Jara Central. I now invite the Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, what we are witnessing today is a very historic moment that as members of National Assembly members of APRC, NRP, NPP, independents from Banjul South, Banjul Central, Nyani, Sabasanjal, Fonyi Kansala, Fonyi Brefet, Fonyi Bintang, and Fonyi Brundali, and Kiang Central would be proud of ourselves and nominated members, of course, in the next 50 years, 100 years to come. That at a time when Gambians, members of parliament, thought of ending impunity, ending people personalizing the office of President of the Republic of the Gambia, ending fear and confusion in the office of the President of the Gambia, ending amassment of wealth and corruption and fear of leaving office. We will be written in history that we have decided to encourage democracy and embolden rule of law in the office of the President. And that holders of the office of the President will no longer fear, among other things, one, once they leave office, they become destitute and beggars, and their life conditions become unbearable. And once they leave office, they are no longer treated as people who serve this country with distinction and honor. They will no longer fear that once they leave office, they are left alone to manage and also put food on their table. And all these things contribute to how leaders manage the affairs of the state, how leaders prepare and believe that the office of President of the Gambia is not a personal entitlement that they could hold on for eternity and for the rest of their life. That is what we are here to do. There was an act of parliament in 2006, but at the time, the drafters and the members of parliament had good cause, but they have not put into account of eventualities and what will happen as the world continues to evolve in terms of inflation, in terms of economy, in terms of security, in terms of stability, and in terms of democracy and good governance. But of course, they paved the way for what today we are putting in place, not as the person of Z or Y or Demba or Adama or Usenu or Yaya, but any Gambian who would have the opportunity, the rare opportunity, to serve as a president of the Republic of the Gambia under the Constitution, whether this Constitution or any existing Constitution at the time of becoming a president of the Gambia. That's what we want. Honorable Speaker, as a Speaker of the National Assembly and as a member of the National Assembly, members of the judiciary and the executive branch of the states, from the Secretary General to permanent secretaries to gardeners, and as well as messengers, they all enjoy benefits after ceasing to be members or officers of the offices that they hold, in accordance with law. As a president, which is the highest office, and more often than not, once you leave office as a president, You are not expected to go back and contest as a member of the National Assembly, or to go as a teacher, or as a director, as a messenger, or as a gardener to earn a living that will sustain you and your family. More or less, you won't be employed. And that was the reason why government even wanted to bring in the judiciary bill, so that once judges leave office, they will not become destitute because they will not be able to be employed in the field of which they are educated. That is what we are doing here today. We are not doing this because of president. And that is why, as responsible members of the National Assembly or a responsible officer of the state, whichever appointment you hold, you must discharge your duties to the best of your ability. You must be competent. You must be equal to the task. You must serve with diligence and putting forward the interests of the country. We talk about partisan politics. When we come into the parliament, we talk about being members of the National Assembly, representing the greater interest of every Gambian, irrespective of our party, of our tribe, of our religion, of our color, and the region you come from. And most importantly, as well as the minorities, we must respect the rights and liberties and freedom of the minorities. That's our responsibility collectively as members of the National Assembly. We are elected in or nominated to serve the Gambian people. We are expected because in modern democracy, you cannot have the entire Gambians in a pantaba and discuss and chart the way forward and also shape policies, programs, and laws that will move this country. That is why parliament emanated from the national pantabas, the common people. We put together and discuss. So therefore, it's the people who vest their authority, their rights, their responsibilities on us to discharge for and their behalf, irrespective of our agreement and or disagreement. When we had the intelligence that they were going to walk out yesterday and today, and I told the guy that no, they won't do that. He said the members of the United Democratic Party will walk out because the victim bills, once it is enacted, it will be seen as a plus and a credit to the government under the leadership of the current president. And they wouldn't want that to happen. I said, they will not work out. He said, if they don't, they will vote the certificate of urgency as a diplomatic tactics to reject the victim bill and as well as the former president and the banning of public office and the commission of inquiry. And I didn't agree. He said, okay, you will see. But I consulted majority and others. I told them they will work out. And yesterday when he came in, how important addressing the issues of victims, the issue of former president, the issue of the commission of inquiry, the issue of banning people from holding public office. We must put places to them. That is our ardent and inalienable responsibility as members of the National Assembly, is to make laws. That's a primary function, to make laws, legislate, and oversight, representation. People ask us to come and represent them here. We are discussing a matter that will bring stability to Gambian people. A matter that is aimed at ending corruption and impunity in the office of the president. As a president, you are thinking about when you leave office, you will become destitute. When companies and investors or interests come before this country, and it is for the advancement of the country, they want to construct roads for us, railways, they want to bring a state-of-the-art science and technology that will be able to stand the test of time and build this country and move us for this generation and generation yet unborn. As a president, when you leave power, you are expected to go and beg. You will be corrupt. And you will be thinking about what you can get from approving those companies or those contractors, or what will benefit the Gambian, what will first benefit you as a president and when you leave president. Because you will not receive salary. You will be begging. Your families will be destitute. But today we are here to end that. That is why this former president. And we are not alone in this. In fact, we are late. But it's better to be late than never. All the countries in the world, they have these similar laws since time of immemorial. In our Fula, we say since 1900. They have, because when they make laws, they don't personalize. It's not about personal aggrandizement or vindictiveness. It's about your responsibility. It's about the institutions of parliament, the institution of the state, the institution of the executive. When you go as a person, if I am a director, I am a director of everybody. I must respect, and we must respect them. And they say, the only way we can do that, guide the presidents, guide their office, guide how they operate, guide how they lead us as a nation, is to provide life after the president. Life after the president. When you are a president, you are exercising your function and your powers. You must know that there is life after the president. That when you behave, when you execute your function based on rule of law, based on constitution, based on democracy, based on good governance, you will enjoy life after president more than life as a president. Do you expect someone to leave office as a president? You are exchanging words with the common man in the market. You are not secured. You don't have benefits. You are not paid. You don't have security. You don't have office. We are lagging behind. We have seen it. But because these are progressive laws, these laws will stand the test of time. And the current president, is committed to ensuring that every president, once you are a president, you must be in a haste to leave office. And that will be to the advancement and to the greater good of the Gambian people. That's what they don't want. We said we are for the interest of the nation. You don't want these laws to pass. You don't want to explain to Gambian people what are your reasons. And because you fail in ensuring that the victim bill does not pass, and tactically playing politics, nobody is a fool. You are uttering your words. I am also listening. I also have 5 common sense. You don't want the victims to benefit because you think if the victim benefits is the interest of the current government, is a plus. No, you are assigned by the Gambian people to serve the interest of the Gambian people.
Yes, may I hear the point of order?
Honorable Speaker, I rise again on point of order 29.1. Every member shall restrict his or her observation to the subject under discussion. We are discussing about the merits and the principles of the bill. And I want you to guide us as you have guided me.
Honorable member, every member who spoke here, who wants to discuss about the moving out of other members, did so without any objections, by my leave. It is pertinent because it deals with the bill that we are looking at. That's why they went out. So it's in order for him, properly in order for him to go on and say what he is saying about going out or not going out or staying in to look at the bill under consideration. Honorable member, can you continue?
Honorable Speaker, a few months ago, it emboldened me and also my thinking and horizon the way politics are in the Gambia and how we should take it as responsible people by the current president and leader of the NPP. There was this swearing-in ceremony, Honorable Speaker, in Banjul at the Banjul City Council. I'm still on the walkout responsibilities of Parliament. And I was in my office, I got a call that the NPP elected councillors have walked out of the swearing-in ceremony. And I asked those people, I said, I'm sorry, I must go and get them to go back and get sworn. I went and met them at the NPP regional office in Banjul and asked them to leave and go and and go back to the ceremony. And there was this agreement and disagreement as well. I tried to read the president on the phone. I couldn't. I rushed to him. I said, Your Excellency, Mr. President, we have an issue because the NPP have walked out of this. He said, they cannot do that. I will not tolerate people walking out. They must go and take their responsibility and take the oath of office and go to work. That's how a responsible leader and person will do. And it was done. But not to have a caucus and decide to walk out. But I want to thank all those members who stayed. Members of various political parties and independent. You have the opportunity to discuss and add value and enhance the subject matter. Honorable Speaker, looking at every clause of the former president bill is important. And I support the bill in total and commend the executive branch and the Ministry of Justice and all those who've worked to bring in this thing. We are encouraging rule of law, democracy, and saying no to personalization of the office of the president. And as representative of the people and all those who participated in this vote today, you can be counted. This generation and generation yet unborn will continue to recognize you as nationalists, as people who advance the interests of this nation, and people who are ready to look at things objectively to the betterment of this country. And that as a former president, it's a collective responsibility. Only God knows who will benefit. It's not about personalizing the current president. It's not about that. Nobody knows who will benefit. As the member for Fonyi Councillor indicated and other members, that you may support today and benefit. You may against and you benefit. You may support, you will not benefit. And at a generation, at a lifetime, at a generation, you can count the number of former presidents who will benefit. So its economic impact on the national budget will not be pressurized, such that we will not be at a time be able to attain this aspiration. I want to thank the Attorney General and those who worked on that, and thank the Honorable Speaker and all members of this. And that as a party and as those who are here, we don't believe in boycott, we believe in the nation, the interests of the country, and we believe in discharging our responsibilities without external pressure, without personal pressure, without political pressure, in the best interest of this nation.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nominated Member and Deputy Speaker. I now invite the Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for granting me the opportunity. First of all, for the record, I would just like to indicate that I voted not in favor of the urgency, based on the mere fact that I did not see any form of urgency in bringing this bill at this particular time, based on the reasons that I think there are more peculiar issues that needed to carry a matter of urgency rather than this particular bill. However, as people's representatives, I don't think it's ideal to shy away from our core responsibility, which is scrutiny. The reason why I stayed is because I am representing my people, and I am brought here to be their mouthpiece. Sometimes in this chamber, we might make the right decisions. Sometimes we might make the wrong decisions. That makes us human. We are prone to error. But we have to make sure that we are guided by our conscience. I decided to stand here because walking away wouldn't bear me any fruits. I have to stand here and defend my cause. The bill is not a bad bill. And I think as people representatives, we need to trust our conscience more. Yes, we can be part of parties, Most of the time, this is a political chamber. We might be partisan in, I would say, most of our deliberations or our voting processes, right? But we also always have to think broadly and look at the bigger picture, right? A honorable member made mention here. Everyone will agree that there is a need to have this bill in place. There is a need to have these structures in place. That's why we are brought here to enact laws and repeal laws for the betterment of our people. So when it comes to these type of responsibilities, I don't think it's befitting to walk out of these chambers, Honorable Speaker. One thing I want to make known here, Honorable Speaker, is that we have to understand the context of these bills that we bring here. This is not Adama Barrow's bill or Yahya Jammeh's bill. These are bills that are brought here for posterity. Yeah, we have to look at the office, not the individual. You know, presidents bear the highest responsibility in any country, right? Whatever is good. Yes, just yesterday, I voted no on so many issues here that were brought from the executive. I was guided by my conscience, right? So everything that we usually, proclaim here in the chambers, usually it's always directed at the president because he bears the sole responsibility of every single thing, every single aspect of this country. So that person is not an ordinary citizen. Let's be very honest, right? Presidents, even after their term has passed, are still senior statesmen. You have to understand that. Someone has made mention here of the Mo Ibrahims, what's his name again, the Nigerian guy. Goodluck Jonathans and the others. They have their foundations. They're still doing a lot for Nigeria, even Africa globally. Just a couple of months ago, they were here to train all parliamentarians on good governance and other processes that are very beneficial for this continent. So it's not like once term has elapsed, they just go back and just fold their hands and sit. They're still elderly statesmen. People will go to them, for queries. People will still confide in them, for so many other things. So I think it's very ideal to have certain packages for them, so as to, once they are done, they'll be able to go back to something. Though I have few reservations that I'll make known here, but I feel that there is really need for a former president to have an office and to have some of these privileges. How many times have we stood here in Parliament and make queries with regards to corrupt activities, about term limits, about so many other things that we feel that are not good for posterity. But this right here is an opportunity to really curb that, actually. Because if a president knows that there is something at least waiting for me after presidency, right? At least, even if that particular person was vying to stand again, probably they might even change their mind in the process. But also, it will also, that's why I have some reservations, because we should also try to see the retroactive aspect of things, especially impeachment, convictions, resignations, and all those things. Because I want to be guided, Honorable Minister, with regards to those things. Who among these leaders really needs to enjoy this type of entitlements? These are reservations that I have that I want you to answer, because they are very important. Because we are not just putting these emoluments in place just for any leader to do whatever, you can be involved in any corrupt activity, you can be intelligent and all those stuff. And once you are done, you are just, enjoy. It doesn't work like that, So we want to be guided as to exactly who among the leaders are we talking that we are talking of that will be enjoying these amenities. For example, if you look at the 2006 Act, right? I think it gives former presidents at least 2 terms to be able to be enjoying certain amenities, right? If you look at things like it even is contrary to the term limit, actually, because to be honest, if I was a former president and I am restricted to just 2 terms, probably the next election I'll do I'll do whatever possible just to have 2 terms, even if I'm not, eligible, or if I'm not even, I would say in terms of moral obligations, if morally I'm not even fit to be there, but I'll still try to have a second term, be able to enjoy these amenities, right? So this law has to be looked at objectively. We should not look at the person, but we should look at the office, right? So, Honorable Speaker, I'll just like to look at the general principles and merits. For example, in terms of the pension aspect of things, I've seen here that the government shall pay a former president for the rest of his or her life a monthly pension payable in arrears of an amount equal to the monthly salary of a serving president. I think when we come to the consideration stage, I think this is something we should look at, because it's like a former president, if I stand to be corrected, having 100% of his emoluments after even presidency. I don't think that really. Yeah, come on, that doesn't really make sense. Also, under the benefits for former presidents, 6, page 3, I've seen that here it's saying a former president shall be provided with a fully furnished residence, including utilities and other facilities for his or her comfort. And then if you come to 2, it says, where a former president decide to reside in his or her own residence. For example, our current president here has Manka Makunda, for example. So I don't see the reason why we have to also build him another residence. Why not just to save us economic costs? Why not he just move to Manka Makunda, and we can use that money to redirect it to something else. Also, in terms of the allowances, Honorable Speaker, just to wrap up, allowances for surviving spouses of the president. Please. The government shall pay allowances to surviving spouses of a former president at a rate per annum, payable monthly, which is equal to 25% of the annual rate of gross salary. I think, please. I think if accumulated, I think it will be kind of a very large lump sum. And if the president decides to marry another 2 wives, that might be exactly. So we need to look at that also when we come to the consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Time for everybody. But like the saying goes, in a battle of guns, the first to run is always a coward. I said, in a battle of guns, the first to run is a coward. Subalita kandor kudaurek dangaraga. So, Honorable Speaker, we are lawmakers. And I always say it. This brings me back to that bill we rejected, which was called the Judiciary Bill. The drafters can always put anything they wish to put in a bill. But when it comes here, we have to take responsibility and understand that we are the lawmakers. We are duly elected to make laws. Having said that, Honorable Speaker, this bill has been brought before us. If you have any concern to raise and you leave the chamber, probably that concern you had would have even been addressed. But now, only those who are here would have the opportunity to raise those concerns that they have. So I am calling on my honorable members to make sure that we put a stop to these kind of things, because it's not worth it, definitely. Honorable members, I can fully remember back in the days, people used to say, President Jammeh has to provide a legislation to make sure that they bring back Jawara and give him all the intensive that is due for him. I can fully remember. And thanks to Jammeh, these are one of the good things that he did to this government, to this country. He brought him, accommodated him, and provided him with intensives. And those political leaders who were saying Jammeh should do this are the same political leaders who are rejecting this bill. So you see some of the political tactics they want to play with this gallery. But we will not allow them to have that here. We have a nation to build. We have a country to build. Personally, I don't want to leave the National Assembly and be a destitute. Why should I live to see the head of state, a person who has occupied the highest position in this country, to be a destitute in the street of the Gambia? Let us be fair to each other. Let us not try to personalize things. Some honorable members have said it here. You may be a president tomorrow. Your son or your daughter may be a president tomorrow. Please let us try to always look at things in a broader perspective and not to always personalize it. The bill is a progressive bill. One day or the other, we will have an established office of a former president. And I'm suggesting maybe that would come during the committee stage. That let us not only give him the office. He can also be used by the nation. As far as we are paying them, we are giving them something, let them serve as advisors to the sitting president. At the end of the day, they become useful to us. And that would also bring closeness, and it will bring also unity amongst us, between the sitting and the former president. And that would unite us. These are all ways we should be thinking to move forward as a nation. But whenever we talk about something that is of positive, because you are not in line with the ruling government, you always want to set your foot on that. Fine, you can leave the chamber, but you cannot stop us from doing the needful. Honorable members, let us do the necessary. And please, I have some reservations, but like other members say, when we go to Committee of Supply, we can try to make sure we fix, adjust here and there to make sure that it fits, this bill is fit for purpose. With those simple remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to take my seat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal. I now invite the Honorable Member for Jimara. It's out. Honorable members, I now invite the Honorable Member for Upper Fladu West.
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, thank you so much. Just as alluded by my colleague, that is Honorable Alhaji Babu Sise, I think I'm going to make the shortest deliberation as far as the subject matter before us today is very, very concerned. Initially, myself, I never wanted to participate in the debate, but I feel it necessary to participate simply because of what has actually happened in the parliament. I think today is a red letter day for all parliamentarians. The Minister of Justice, the Speaker, the National Assembly staffs, that today is a day that those who are in the chambers, we will never forget this particular day. A bill before parliament, a left-wing group left the parliament simply because they are not in support of this bill. But if you look at the objects and reasons of this bill, it is clearly stated and is very, very important, as other speakers have alluded, that the former president bill is something that is very, very important, because Gambia is not exceptional. Gambia is part of the world, because if you look at other countries in the sub-region, they have these bills for their former presidents. So Gambia cannot be exceptional. This bill is long overdue. There was an act, and that act is going to be repealed. When it's repealed, then it's going to be replaced by this other new one. Because if you look at the old act, what is stated there, That is, you can only benefit from this package if you serve for 2 terms. So meaning you have to be a president of this country for 10 years before you can get this package. And then also the spouse are not captured as far as the former act is concerned. So the new one has come to address that issue. So we all know that Gambia, we have only 2 former presidents. That is President Jawara, may his soul rest in peace. He has worked tremendously well in this country. He brought a lot of development in this country, but he's late. But the spouse are still around. They can benefit from this package. The other former president is Jammeh. We all know, whether you hate him or whether you like him, he has done a lot in this country. He brought a lot of infrastructural development in this country. He can also benefit from this package. Well, and what is important, as other speakers highlighted, we should not look at the former president by saying like President Jawara or President Jammeh. We should not look at them. Well, what we should look at is the office, because we are creating this package for the office, because it will be very, very unfair when they leave office after serving this country for so many years. We will be seeing them begging in the street. So those are some of the things that we need to consider. But those who left the chambers, we are on record, and the media is taking whatever is happening, unfolding in this chamber. That today we are talking about the former president bill, but tomorrow we are going to talk about our own bill. That is the National Assembly. We are going to talk about our own bill tomorrow, and it will come. When it comes, I can swear, and I am pretty much sure, that those National Assembly members who left the chambers, they are not going to leave chamber that particular day, because that particular bill is going to serve them directly. But they are not former president, or they are not in presidency, so that is why they don't want to support this. But for me, the people of Upper Fuladu, they voted for me. That is why I am here. So dodging parliament is not a good sign. We disagree to agree. That's parliament. We disagree to agree. Because, and remember, no man is infallible. We are lawmakers. As Honorable Njai said, sometimes we can make errors. So, but what is important, this bill is very, very progressive, and it's something that I personally, I never want to participate in the debate, but what is in me, if I don't voice it out, it will be very, very unfair. And I'm going to support this bill 100%. Anything that comes and then is good, we are going to support it. And then we are going to defend the interests of this country. And then we are going to defend the interests of our people, come what may. If people want, let them abstain themselves from parliament. But we who are here to defend our country, to defend the interests of our people, we will stay put, and we will continue to defend until whatever will happen in the future. So, Honorable Speaker, I thank the executive for bringing this bill. It's very, very timely, and then it's a good bill, and then we're going to support this bill. So I thank you so much, and then I thank each and every one of you during your deliberation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Upper Fuladu West.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And thank you, honorable members who took part in the debate. I just wish to make a reminder as a general response that the legislative making process of the country is vested in us. I mean, the executive and the legislature and National Assembly. That's why, of course, except for private member bills, usually it is the executive that introduces the bills and you consider them. So the bills are a proposal from us. We propose, submit it to you, and you enact. And in the process of enactment, of course, you are entitled to do your own scrutiny. I said, I decided to give this general answer as to some of the questions, some specific questions that were asked during the debate, to the effect that, I mean, consider this as a proposal from us. At the level of the executive, this bill was approved among other bills by cabinet, so that's our proposal. If you think differently, that is why you are a chamber. When you go to the committee stage, as we usually do, with a lot of other bills, we can go through it. Some specific direct questions were asked. Some, like I did yesterday, maybe we will deal with them when we get to the committee stage. Some probably would require a direct response as I stand here. Lower Salum asked a number of questions. But one that you ask, I think, is a misunderstanding. That is why the payment of the pensions will be in arrears. What that means is you are not paid upfront. You are paid after it has accrued. So you're paid, your salaries are paid in arrears because it's at the end of the month that you are paid. So that's what that means. Not the other arrears probably that you might be thinking of. Now you also ask about the issue of repeal and savings. You talked about will JAME benefit? And the issue of JAME went on. I heard from so many other MPs talk about JAME. And you raised the issue of if you die in office. Of course, I know Upper Salum also mentioned those things. So some of those things probably when you do the clause by clause consideration, we will look at it. Other members also talked about the issue of retrospectivity. Would it apply to all the former presidents? Now, we did a lot of study of similar legislations within the sub-region and beyond when we were drafting this one. And we discovered it varies from one country to another country. It's not uniform. Countries decide how they want to take care of their former heads of states. Some countries give office, they give accommodation, they give lifelong security, they give lifelong protocol services. Some pay spouses, some don't pay spouses. So it depends on the context. In the Gambia, let's not forget, like most of you who participated in the debate rightly said, this is not coming in a vacuum. There is already an existing legislation. And it is what this new legislation is introducing is very little. Most of these things are already in that legislation. And that's why, Lower Salum, you also ask about sustainability. These things are here, they're not new, except for the pension. The pension is new. Because what the former presidents used to have under the existing legislation we have is an allowance. Now we are proposing they get a proper pension, like anybody else. All right? So that is what is new. And other than that, even under that legislation, they are meant to have an office. They are meant to have 3 vehicles, and we maintain 3 vehicles in this bill. We are not increasing the vehicles. They are meant to have, these vehicles are meant to have drivers. We have not changed that. They are meant to have diplomatic passports for the rest of their life. We've not changed it. All that we added is diplomatic passport to the president and the spouses. And I'm sure the gender people will agree with us on that. Then even the sitting arrangement is catered for in the old legislation. We have not changed that. That is former presidents in an event, in a public event, they sit immediately after the sitting vice president. And if there are more than one, they will sit in the order of seniority. All right? So office is created for them under the existing legislation. We are not introducing a new thing there. The legislation that we had since 2006, former presidents were supposed to have a fully furnished office. So that's not new. The issue of maintenance of their residence and staff for their residences too is in the Act, is in the existing Act. It's not new. If you go to Section 7 of the schedule, it's clear. The presidential accommodation of former presidents shall be maintained and provided with telephone, internet, and other facilities, with 2 cooks, 4 housekeepers, and 2 gardeners. I'm reading the old Act. This is there. We are not bringing anything new. So for those of you who are concerned about the economic impact, this is there already. So whenever there is a former president, even if this bill didn't pass, those things are there. So we are only making a little bit of an improvement. Now, with the specific questions as to the application of the Act. Now, in the 2007, of course, passed in 2006, but it came into force in February 2007. In the 2007 legislation, that act is only applicable to presidents who serve 2 terms minimum. So under that old legislation, if you serve 1 term, you will not have benefited from even the allowances because they don't have a pension under that act. It was an allowance and then an office and maintenance of their house. If you haven't served 2 terms, you were not going to benefit. In the new bill, we said former president, simple. So if you serve 1 term and you leave, you will still be treated as a former president. If you serve 2 terms, you will still benefit. That's a departure from the whole act. The other departure point is, under the old act, there is a provision to say if you are removed from office, you will be denied the benefits. That is not in this bill. And I see quite a number of you in the debate have started asking that. How about if you are impeached? How about this, that, that? And I think that question is expanded for specific questions. Will Jammeh benefit or not? This is what I have to say with respect to that. At the level of the executive, we interrogated this issue. If you look at the definition of a former president, under the bill, no former president is excluded. However, you will have to look at the practical application of it. I would have avoided answering this, but because it's a direct question that was asked, we have to look at it directly as well. Now, former President Jammeh, which was a very direct question, even if he is deemed to be qualified to benefit from this act, the reality is former President Jammeh is a wanted person in the Gambia. He is recommended to be prosecuted by the TRRC. Government has accepted that President Jammeh will be prosecuted. So he is a former president which cannot be denied. However, he is a former president that is in conflict with the law. And unless that conflict with the law is determined, even if he is entitled to benefit under this legislation, it will not kick him. Because like any one of us, if you are a suspect of having committed a crime, unless you deal with that issue and clear it, you cannot be entitled to it. You cannot be entitled to certain benefits. So that's my answer for that. If you look at the application of the act, of course, no former president is excluded. That is the spirit that it is coming. Nobody is expressly excluded. But the application of it specifically for President Jammeh, we would have avoided mentioning specific names, but because the direct question is asked, President Jammeh, unless
Honorable Minister, you could have avoided answering direct questions on individuals.
Okay, Thank you,
because that determination would be on the bill and what the consequences.
Exactly.
Because here, when you have the bill, it does not exclude, as you rightly said, it does not exclude anybody.
I will leave it at that, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, for you to be excluded, it cannot be determined now for somebody to say that somebody will be included or excluded. You know.
So that would be my response to that question. So other than that, for the objective of the bill, it is pretty clear, and I think we are all on the same level on the importance of the bill. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Speaker, some questions are not answered.
Who is that?
Honorable Jiba, Fonyi Councillor. He has made some that is not answered.
Pardon?
I said there are some questions that you have asked which is not answered.
Yeah, he's not supposed to answer all your questions. When we are at the committee stage, that's where most of these things should be ironed out, expressions made, and the members determine.
Now, this is also very about the spouse.
It can come out when you are on it at the floor of the house. It's not everything that was said that he's supposed to answer everything. These answers are just a guidance.
Yes, miss. That's why I want to.
Yeah, you still have the opportunity, Honorable.
Huh?
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled the former President's Bill 2023 be read a second time. Those in favor, please say aye. Not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. May we have the person on record? Who? Honorable, don't confuse yourself. No, listen, please. Honorable, please listen. Honorable, listen, please.
Yes.
I am on the floor. Put your tag down.
Okay.
When the speaker talks, everybody sits and listens. The minister is not here to tell us how to legislate. The minister introduced a bill, the intent of the executive, for us to look, scrutinize, and then do whatever we want. So you don't come and tell us the minister said this or that. This is your responsibility, not the minister's responsibility. It's our responsibility, not the minister's responsibility. Anyway, note it down that he is the one objecting. Honorable members, I will now resolve the assembly into the committee of the whole assembly to consider the bill in detail. On that note, the assembly is now resolved. The second reading to you. Second reading. Sorry. Sorry, you need to read this short title.
The former President's Bill 2023.
Thank you. Of the whole assembly to look at the bill in detail. I would urge that it's a short bill. I'll urge that we look at it, complete it, and go for lunch and prayers. On that note, the assembly is now resolved into the committee stage.
your wife will benefit, then we can go into those ones. But your wife will have to be a first lady that is known to us before you can benefit. Yes.
Our marriages, it is not mandatory that we even register our marriages in this country, so it cannot be in our laws.
Yes, Chair. Us married. Do we have our marriage certificate? You only go to get it when there is a requirement from somewhere. Then you go to us to get it.
Yes, Chair.
Yes, to who say?
Me.
Member for.
Yes, thank you.
Of Salum.
Yes, Honorable Chair. I think the definition he's trying to bring may not be necessary because the Islamic marriage or Mohammedan marriage actually only affects a particular sect of our society. And it's not guaranteed that the former president is going to marry to a Muslim or a Christian or a non-believer. So it's not good to define any religious aspect of it because you don't know what kind of wife or husband is going to have, Christian, Muslim, or a non-believer. So I think we don't need to do that. Yeah. No, by the way, he's a law student. That's why.
I think you know why we are saying this. So far the person going to benefit as a spouse would have been known to the Gambians. We have been at the State House. Then we should say that for anybody to be recognized as First Lady and the President's wife, you must show a certificate of marriage. We should have said that. But we have given them, we have accrued them all the benefits and given them all those things and all these things. Now we have accepted. Now you said we put that there. That it makes it a little bit funny. And please, let's look at this against the existing legislation. That would help you. What people thought is this is a new thing. This thing has been in place since 2007. It was enacted and then came to force in January and February 2007. This has been there. And the amendments to this are so minimal. So minimal. All your residents, number of staff, the vehicles, and all these things are all borrowed from that one and that's just brought here. The little difference, as I said, is it may come to the salary. That one was called allowance. They never wanted to call it salary. But at the time, it was big. It was big salary, very big. So that's what we are trying to do. Let's borrow it. Let's not see this as a new thing. And there are others who are asking whether the budget will carry it, whether we'll be able to carry the budget. Whether the budget will carry it, when the budget can carry our own.
No, Honorable Chair. Those are our suggestions, and it was cleared by the minister.
Pardon, you said?
No, I said those are our opinions, and it was.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
But Honorable Chair.
Honorable, no, listen. Honorable, please. That was your opinion.
Of course,
and
yes.
you don't want to listen to my opinion?
No, but then you are not. He's the one who responded to us.
I am talking now. I'm saying my opinion.
No.
I cannot do it. But you can do yours.
Honorable, you are a presiding officer.
No,
wait.
I am not. Listen. Now I am a presiding officer at a committee stage. I am equally, what you can do is what I can do.
Honorable Chair. No, but no.
Honorable, please be quiet. Please.
No,
please.
Honorable Chair.
No, Honorable, please.
No.
Honorable, please obey the laws. Please be quiet. You have a right to express yourself in the way you want. And any other person has a right to express him or herself. You must respect that. You say things that people don't want, they listen. When people say something that you don't want, you think they should not say it. Honorable members, can what is the proposal for amendment? There is no amendment.
Honorable Chair.
Wait. On the interpretation.
Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair.
We have a proposal on the interpretation by the honorable member for Fonyi Kansala. We don't seem to understand it.
Yes, for me, I think.
Honorable, let me learn.
Okay, all right.
Wow. Because what we have, honorable, is I think there are two seats. Constitution means the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia. Suggestion, add Constitution. We don't understand that. Yes, can you clarify that?
Yeah, I think I will withdraw that. I will withdraw this one, and the other one may.
Then the other one is president, former president, add under the Constitution.
No, it's all the same. It's all the same. I fully comprehend that. What I wanted to ascertain was in line of the Constitution. So generally, I was just trying to see whether it is only referring to a specific constitution. But it's clear now. Constitution means any constitution. Thank you.
We are now dealing with the 97 Constitution. Tomorrow, if we have another constitution, that is the Constitution of the Gambia. In the next 30 years, always the Constitution, because we will never have two constitutions. Huh? So you are clear about that? Okay, that is the only one on this thing. Now, let me put the question on interpretation. Pardon? With amendments, can now be read a third time and passed. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk, you may read the title of the bill to signify its passage.
The former President's Bill 2023.
Honorable members, the bill has now been passed. Honorable members, before we proceed on the next agenda item, on the other paper, I think some members, especially those from Jara, were sending me notes. I think we will now adjourn for lunch and prayers, and then come back at what time? It's 10 minutes after 5?
Yeah, come back at 6. No, 6 o'clock.
We'll be here at 6 o'clock.
Thank you.
All right, the House now is suspended until 6 o'clock. Our debate for the acceptance or otherwise of the certificate of urgency on the said bill. Be resolved that this assembly do accept the bill entitled Commission of Inquiry Bill 2023 be proceeded with under a certificate of urgency. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Now, under Order 77.3, which reads, a bill to which a certificate of urgency attaches may be proceeded with throughout all its stages, and the Assembly shall not be counted out or adjourned, except upon a motion made by the Vice President or a minister in charge of the bill, until such bill has been read a third time. Therefore, the said bill shall be proceeded with throughout all the stages in the Assembly. In other words, I am not in a position to accept any dilatory motion or referrals as dictated by Order 77.3, that once a business is accepted on the certificate of urgency, it shall not be counted out or adjourned until the business is completed. I will now invite the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, the person in charge of the bill, to hand over a copy of of the bill to the clerk for the first reading. Honorable Attorney General.
Commission of Inquiry Amendment Bill 2023.
Honorable members, in accordance with Standing Order 65, the first reading of the Commission of Inquiry Amendment Bill 2023 is completed. Therefore, in accordance with Standing Orders 66 and 77, we will proceed to the second reading of the bill forthwith. Clerk, may we proceed?
Second reading, Commission of Inquiry Amendment Bill 2023 by the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice.
Honorable members, pursuant to Standing Orders 67 and 77, I invite the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice to move a motion for the second reading of the bill entitled Commission of Inquiry Amendment Bill 2023. Therefore, it will be seconded and the Assembly will debate on the general merits and principles of the bill as per Standing Orders 67-1. After the debate, we will resolve into the Committee of the Whole Assembly to give detailed consideration to the bill. On that note, honorable members, I now invite the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice to move the motion for the second reading.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move that the bill entitled Commission of Inquiry Amendment Bill 2023 be read the second time. Honorable Speaker, this bill seeks to amend the Commission of Inquiry law to add a new provision to define the meanings of minister and white paper under this act, and to give power to the President to issue amnesty to persons banned from holding public office, and to provide a criterion for persons entitled to apply for amnesty under this legislation. I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Any seconder, honorable members? Honorable Member for Kantora.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion. And in respect, I want to rise on a motion 53F, a motion for the Assembly to resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole House.
We would want to insert a full stop at 1997 and remove the rest. So it will read, means the commission issued under section 200 of the Constitution of, refers to written statement of the President issued in the Gazette accompanying the publication of a report of a commission in line with section 203A of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, 1997. Yes.
No, back to the capital letter. The capitals.
Capital
Republic
R,
of
okay.
the Gambia.
Oh, yes, okay. Capital R, okay. What is the next?
Go ahead. Honorable member, you can go ahead. How are you convinced? Members, the proposed amendments on clause 3. If you look at your document, 1A, you have Commission of Inquiry. Have you seen it? Commission of Inquiry. Members, have you seen it? Yeah. The definition here means the commission issued under section 200 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, 1997. Full stop. The rest goes out. The rest is out. And you go down to what interpretation for white paper. It says refers to the written statement of the president issued in the Gazette accompanying the publication of a report of a commission in line with Section 203A of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia 1997, full stop, and the rest goes out. You've got that. Honorable members, it is proposed that Clause 3, introduction of a new Section 1A interpretation section, stand part of the bill as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 4, introduction of new section 19.
Okay, the minister.
Okay.
Honorable Speaker, the new clause 19 that is being proposed after 1AB, the sentence that comes after that, where we have the minister shall within 1 week. I don't know whether everybody's there. All right, so we want to offer a substitute there. The minister shall within 1 week publish the names of such persons in the Gazette by way of order instead of schedule. Yes. No, we were removing
that by, you said,
yeah,
persons in the Gazette by way of order.
Full stop.
And they add it to these things will all go out.
No, yes. So we will stop at Gazette. By way of order. After Gazette, by way of order.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Yes,
after,
exactly.
After Gazette, by way of order, and the rest goes out.
Yes, the rest goes out. Yeah. So it reads once again, the minister shall within 1 week publish the names of such persons in the Gazette by way of order.
Or pardon?
No.
No, it's an amendment to an existing one.
It is. We are only adding after Gazette. So read the whole sentence up to you have Gazette.
You add by way of order and remove the rest.
Capital O. No, by way of order.
No, there is no and. By way of order. After Gazette is by way of order. And then and add it to the second schedule to this act should all go out.
Yes, exactly. And that very 19, Honorable Speaker, with your permission, the one above, the inquiry there, the E should have been an I.
Inquiry. Commission of Inquiry.
Yes. Inquiry. And
what about, yes?
Paragraph 3 finally on that.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, paragraph 3,
I have,
the eligibility there should be substituted to eligible.
I underlined those one. Be entitled or eligible to emoluments, huh?
Yes. 3, paragraph 3.
Paragraph 3.
A person removed under this section. You've seen it?
The second line, you will see be entitled or eligibility. Instead of eligibility, it should be eligible to emoluments, pension, gratuity, etc. Any more proposed amendments, Honorable Minister?
No, for this section, no.
No. Any more honorable members on that section? It is proposed that clause 4, introduction of a new section 19, stand part of the bill as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 5, introduction of a new section 20.
Yes. Honorable Minister, I have questions for you on this. Yes. That is the introduction of a new section, where you talk about the Section 20, amnesty to persons banned from. Yeah, what I observe is you are empowering the president for those who were banned, so that the president can look into their case and either pardon or forgive them. And usually when you go to court and you are convicted for murder, you are sentenced. And the president, after the sentence, the president can pardon you. Prerogative of mercy. Huh? You've committed murder, or you committed very heinous crime. Now here, what I observe is a person who is serving a ban from holding public office, pursuant to a finding by a commission of inquiry issued under this act, may apply for a commutation of the ban in writing to the minister. And then it's followed by, upon receiving such application, the minister shall present it to the president as soon as possible for consideration. That one should have a time frame. You know, yeah, the minister, because others are time framed. Here, the president may, upon consultation with cabinet, commute the whole or part of the listing. Where the president in collaboration with cabinet commutes the whole of the minister may. There is a portion I'm looking at. No, that is on 6.2. What I'm trying to say is on 6.2. That's where I have my problem. Here, my problem is this one should have a time frame.
So we have a proposal to improve on this.
That time could be within a week.
I don't know. That would be most convenient because you know there is bureaucracy all along. So you don't. Yes.
Yes, but at least you are saying that there must be a time frame.
Yes. No. For number 2, there should be a time frame.
Exactly.
Yeah. This other one, 4A, there is a time frame. So we want a time frame for the honorable minister on 2. Yeah, to know. Yeah, you know, when the minister receives it, Speaker, the minister should forward it to the president. From the time of receival to the time of forwarding to the president, it should have a time frame.
Now, yes. I want to propose here to delete as soon as that within 1 week to forward it to the president.
Exactly.
It's difficult. Sometimes the minister is away. And once you serve in the office, it's deep. So if you give him a 1 week.
So, honorable minister, what are you saying?
That's
1 month?
At most
we can give 1 month.
Huh?
No minister will travel more than.
Even if you travel, they will commit to you because it's about somebody's life.
Speaker, 2 weeks. It's maximum of 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks.
Honorable, I think any judicious minister would do it even in 3 days, if possible. So let's give it that time to allow it because it's a ban. We don't want a situation where it will be failed. 1 month. The 1 month is the upper limit. Remember, it's the upper limit. It does not mean you have to keep it until 1 month. Yeah, within 1 month. Honorable members, address the chair here. Yes?
Sorry, I was addressing. Honorable Speaker.
Central. Huh? Who is speaking? Is it Deputy Speaker?
Yes, sir.
Yes? You have anything?
Yes. What I was saying, I am in line with the majority leader because I was even proposing 1 week. And the notion adduced by other members that the minister may travel, you're not making laws to take into account of a minister or a holder of office, maybe the person may travel. We are not doing that. So 1 week is enough, or 2 weeks, but not 1 month. Yeah, 1 week is enough.
Honorable, 1 week. Honorable, I think we are giving an upper limit. 1 week does not mean, or 2 weeks does not mean you have to wait until 2 weeks.
Exactly, 1 week.
It means you can do it in even the day you receive it, if it is possible.
Exactly, exactly.
But knowing what happens in bureaucracies, I think 1 month is not unreasonable.
Is 1 month, Honorable Speaker?
Where, for instance, a minister, because it's only the minister who can do it. It's only the minister who can do it.
Honorable Speaker.
Chair.
Yes, I'm hearing.
I think now we can make an upper limit of 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
You know, my problem is, Honorable Minister, if it is not done within 14 days, you see, I think the spirit should also show.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
Now that the other members, is between 1 week and 2 weeks, we can still settle for 2 weeks as the upper limit.
Yes, Honorable, we are on the floor now to bring out the merits and demerits. I know 90% of the people are saying that, but we are trying to see how we can convince each other based on the merits or the merits.
That is why, Honorable Chair.
Speaker,
Honorable Chair.
there also might be an instances.
Majority Leader, please. Yeah, Honorable Chair. That is why we are saying, based on the issues taking into account of the bureaucracy, but also bureaucracy that should not also be abused. That is why now we want to settle in for 2 weeks instead of the 1 week. But definitely, I think 2 weeks is more than enough for Honorable Minister to react and communicate. So even if he travels, he may not travel because we're not making laws to cater for ministers' travel time. I think 2 weeks is enough.
But Honorable, we are making laws bearing in mind some of those things to be able to determine.
Yes, that is why, Honorable Speaker, that is why we are giving him 14 days.
My opinion is a minister can travel for 10, 11 days, 12 days without coming.
I agree, he can even travel for 1 month.
No, but where that happens now, you are forcing us to break a law. You are forcing the institution to break in breach of a law.
No, Honorable Speaker, when things are practically impossible.
Honorable members, I think what we can do is, you are all in favor of a 2 weeks and not a month.
Yes.
14 days.
No, I'm now asking honorable members.
2 weeks, yes.
Honorable Deputy, I've had you. Honorable members, we have had the agreements. It looks like you are in support of the 2 weeks.
Honorable Speaker, can I come in?
Huh?
Chair, can I come?
Who is saying that? Honorable, I don't want us to encourage debating because there is nothing new we are coming. I think we only decide on it. Members, you are in for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay, so now, Honorable, we now came into
14 days.
14 days. That the president, how do you frame it? The minister shall, within 14 days, present it. There are two suggestions. The minister shall, within 14 days, present it to the president. No, it may not be him. Remember, you are making this law.